Man, what is this? Going live today, debuting our second dynasty. We're just 2 days into college football 27. And while obviously there's still a lot of chaos kind of going around with college football right now, and obviously we know exactly why those microtransactions game has been a little bit broken here and there, but we're still going to look to have fun because the devs, not the suits, the devs, they gave us a fun game this year. So we are starting off our second dynasty, day 2 of college football 27, and it is with the legend, Bobby Ellington. In fact, for those of you, as I switch up my screen here, we're going to bring in this background as well because we're going to pop on over. Obviously, with the new game out, we might be having some new people joining in on the channel right now. For those who don't know who Bobby Ellington is, let's introduce you to Mr. Bobby Ellington. Now, he is a guy who was a semi-quiet but very impactful player for us in our Kent State Dynasty. He ended up wrapping out his senior year, and he was just a senior, not redshirted at all. We brought him in from Georgia Tech, where he did play as a true freshman, and he picked up a lot of big-time plays for us, constantly double-digit TFLs. He did hit double-digit sacks as well in his final year. He was such an important player for us, filling in that nose tackle role, that he found himself on the channel banner as one of our legends here on this channel. So Bobby Ellington, I just felt like he really fit what we were looking for in a Coach Mode series. So as we bring back up college football 27 and his new series, once again, we'll bring up this screen here just so you're not seeing any of the stuff around the Xbox, right? But we're back over to college football 27 with Bobby Ellington. And as mentioned, this is going to be a Coach Mode Dynasty. So what does that mean for us? Well, Coach Mode means we're not going to be in charge of the actual playing of the plays. We're going to get into a lot of these games. We're going to be simming through some of these games. If you've been around this channel for a long time, think back to the Madden States Only challenges, how we watched some plays, we simmed through some, kind of jumped around these games and just straight up simmed through some games. The goal is to get through multiple years of this dynasty fairly quickly, right? And start building towards what is hopefully going to be a very successful West Coast team in Sacramento State. However, this is not going to be an easy build. Obviously, we know Sacramento State, they just joined the FBS. They're not a good team so far, but despite that, we have some pretty high expectations for us. We need to upgrade our competitive facilities in the next 5, or upgrade 2 competitive facilities in the next 5 seasons. So we need to be making some money, right? We need to beat North Dakota State. That also, I could have sworn they used to say Nevada. Now it's saying North Dakota State. It is what it is. And we also need to sign a top 100 class at National Signing Day. That is our first year here in the FBS. We need a good recruiting class. Now, what's going to make this even more difficult as we actually, before we get on into the recruiting, which we're going to get into today. Again, this is a series all about the background tasks, right? We're still going to get into those games, but this is a little bit more of that head coach simulation we've been looking for. But if we go into our managed blueprint, you can see we are broke with basically everything that Sacramento State has done leading in to this season. They are spending a mass amount of money on facilities. That's not good news for us, right? That is most of our only $755 budget here that is going towards the facilities, about half of that. Then we do a little bit with the staff, a little bit with the actual rosters we currently have. We don't have much of any extra money. So if we wanted to hire staff, essentially we can. Our coordinators are already extremely cheap. We're basically not paying anyone anything because all the money went to the facilities to get us ready for the FBS season. So there's really just absolutely nothing we could do here. We can't afford any staff, which means we're going to be running very thin into a season our AD expects us to have a top 100 class. So we're going to need to be very due diligent when it comes to what we plan to do this year. Now, in the future, and it is blocked by my head, so why don't I just take that down here for a moment. We are going to be building a more portal program. We're going to be relying on basically bringing in players who had success, but maybe didn't see the playing time that they were looking for at some other schools, or perhaps they just never saw the field, right? And we are in California. It's one of the top recruiting states in the country. So we want to basically be bringing in all these guys from USC, UCLA, Stanford, Cal, anyone who's looking to transfer for basically just extra playing time, bring them in here for a year or so, give us that boost to help unlock some better recruits, and then keep on building that way. That is what I imagine would be the thought process, especially for Bobby Ellington, right? He was a transfer for us at Kent State, so he probably believes very much in the transfer portal. That's going to be more of the design, very different than that of our UAB dynasty we have going, where we are playing the games. That one is a little bit more focused on bringing in high school recruits and developing them. So these two series, very different. Want to make sure you guys are checking out them both, leaving your love for both. But it's time we get on in to this recruiting board. Now, last time we did this, we had a lot of problems. We had a stream a couple days ago where it crashed on us about 3, if not 4 times, just trying to search for players, get them on our board. I did go ahead and set up our UAB recruiting board. We'll talk about that next episode on Monday, so make sure you're ready for that. But basically what I did is avoid the search menu, and it was okay. So we're going to do that again today. Hopefully it doesn't crash anymore on us, and hopefully just in general, that problem is fixed. But before we jump into pulling these guys in, we need to talk about what we're needing with this team, what the team looks like, and the style, the schemes we're looking to use here with Coach Bobby Ellington, because for the most part, it is a little bit different than what Sac State has already done. So if we hop over to our coach scheme and playbook breakdown, we are looking to build a more pro style offense, a little bit more of a heavier focus on the run, some power, right? If I think of Bobby Ellington, he's a big old nose tackle, 6'6", 343 pounds, right? He's all about the ground and pound game. With that, we want to have a modern defense, but still with a focus on the defensive line. So we're going to be using a 4-2-5 zone defense here. And this is kind of the basic way that we know what we're looking for when it comes to bringing in players. Let's meet the roster and find out where we are needing the most amount of help. Now, I haven't even looked at this roster yet. I just knew I wanted to get back to the West Coast. That's where this channel started in college football with the Stanford series. We're going to look to get back there. Now, Jamar Curtis talked about wanting to be more of that pro-style offense. A running back is the highest rated player on this team. At quarterback, we do have a pocket passer in Carson Conklin. He is a junior. That works out well for us because, well, frankly, we are looking for just pocket passing quarterbacks, right? If we're dropping back, it's going to be 5-7 step drops and then looking to throw that ball. Carson Conklin, he's a redshirt junior. He's from California. We're not necessarily meeting his deal breaker right now with conference prestige. Plan is also to see us move for either the Mountain West or the Pac-12 at some point throughout this series. Now, he does not have good deep accuracy, so we should keep our passes short here. Throw under pressure, throw on the run is all right. He doesn't have a strong arm, so we're definitely looking at some short, quicker throws. As for who we have below him on the depth chart, you have another junior quarterback here, another pocket passer. And Sharman, got Scruggs, who is a true freshman pocket passer. They all have some decent mobility, but nothing crazy. I don't expect them to be really moving around much in the pocket. No one with a very strong arm, but I will say Scruggs does have some decent abilities here. Unfortunately, he is only a normal dev, so I still think looking for a potential 1 or so quarterbacks will probably be pretty good. A lot of depth on this roster in terms of running back, but unfortunately most of them are juniors. So I think we are going to have somewhat of a focus on running back here, though there is reigning East-West playmaker, redshirt sophomore, 76 overall, impact dev. He could be a focus guy for us. Decent speed and acceleration, given, again, what conference we're playing in, the level of competition we're going up against. Awareness isn't great, but I feel like we're going to try to probably get a bigger focus on him as perhaps our number 2 back. See how well Curtis does as well and try to get a good 1-2 punch with those two guys. Probably a pretty good focus for us out the gate. No fullback on roster. That will change after year 1. As for receivers, senior at the top, a speedster, Matthew Coleman. But the actual speed looks to be one of the fastest on roster for us is a redshirt sophomore in Jason Moses. He's a gadget type. Gadgets aren't exactly going to fit in here with our pro style offense. In fact, you need a variety of different kind of receivers for that pro style. You need your good one-on-one man, and we don't have that so far at the top. Maybe Jace Wilson could potentially be that guy. He's a slower option for us there. And the rest is a lot of gadgets and speedsters. So I think a good overhaul of this receiving corps is probably going to be necessary. Gadgets you could get away with in the slot, elusive route runners. They're going to be more of our Z receiver towards the side of the 2 receiver sets. Often the guy we're going to look to send in motion. And we need some route runners for the slot. Definitely for sure, we're going to need to focus on that. Tight ends, we're going to look for more possession styles. Physical route runners are okay. We got a decent option here in Jordan Williams. Good speed, we might look to get him a little bit more focused in, right? Think about Stanford Cardinal, the true Stanford offense. That is pro style. Iowa as well, right? They have a big focus on tight ends. They're the tight end universities. We want some tight end love here in this series. Raw strength, left tackle. Not my favorite there. The depth here at tackle is pretty poor. I always suggest that you very much look to build up your offensive line, your defensive line early on here. Looks like that is very much going to be the case. We only have a couple guys here who really look to be starting caliber for this level. 2 of them are at tackle. Good news, they are both agile. So we might be looking to shift one of these guys down to play on the inside, and that's probably going to be Garrison Blank with that 81 run blocking. So he'll probably slide down, play some right guard, and we might move the right guard over to left guard, just to help balance out this line a little bit, because our center position is extremely weak. He's going to need help on both sides, and right now he doesn't have that on the left side. So overall, we're going to need a massive overhaul of the offensive line. Defensive line rise. Again, we're going 4-2-5, so we do need some speed, and we need a little bit of some power on the outsides. Xavier Williams, he is a senior, one of our highest rated players, 76 overall. Opposite side, we do have a couple mid-70s, and there is the power guy there in Poloka. If I'm pronouncing that one correctly. If I do mispronounce any names and you know it, do let me know. Adams, he's probably going to be more of our pass rusher, and we'll bring in Bada Poloka. I'm going to stumble on some of these names as we learn them. But he might be a little bit more of our base package sets for an end, just to give us a little bit more big bodies. Now, we do have quite a few defensive tackles here. Fortunately, there are quite a few seniors amongst this list, some juniors as well. No one looking extremely strong. Howard, 88, seems to be our strongest guy. We have a defensive tackle who's 255 pounds. You're just slow. You're supposed to be playing edge, but you're slow. Okay, well, that's going to be a little interesting. We'll see how he does. 255. I'm hoping for more of a 355. He's about 100 pounds less than Coach. Now, they actually do have a Sam linebacker, which for some reason is rare, I've noticed. Same thing happened in Madden as what's happened here in college football. There's just no Sam linebackers out the gate. But a thumper, 73, junior, so we might have him for a couple years. Good speed there. Mike linebacker. We do have a couple more seniors that are also at the top. 3 seniors. So we definitely need to focus on some linebacker help. A lot of linebacker help. We got a decent linebacking group, but they are all seniors. That's really unfortunate. Do have some depth and youth at cornerback. Our top corner is a 74 overall, lacking a little bit of some speed, but should be fine here again for this level. In Mulliken. Malachi Nichols, though, might be one of our more favor guys. We got a few sophomores in here. Again, some decent speed. How are we manned to zone-wise? A little bit balanced, slightly favoring more of that man coverage. At least up tie. We got a senior here, so he's not going to count as much. Zone focus here with Reese. We've got at least some options. Not going to be running basically any press coverage. That's for sure. 4-2-5, we do need basically 3 safeties out on that field, or a corner who can play a little bit of some safety. There is a freshman here in Ryan Carthian. Coverage specialist, good size, 6'2", 205, unfortunately normal dev. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the starting point we had. His name is blanking on me right now with Kent State. He was a 4-year starter for us. Man, that's unfortunate. I can't remember his name. But very similar. He also started for us as a true freshman. So I think we've got a decent freshman to build around at safety, but we're probably going to need a little bit of some help. I don't know how I feel about the 85 speed there, playing with that robber safety. So I think we're going to have to rely then a little bit more on some of these corners, perhaps, to give us that speed we're looking for. Many of them have some decent tackling. Adam Taylor, a little bit. Caleb Reese, potentially as well. So we've got a couple options for that slot guy. Again, it's that second option at safety who steps down to play that slot corner spot in that 4-2-5. So we know we need some offensive line. We know we need some linebackers. And we could probably use with some athletes across the board. Receiver, we need to rework almost entirely. So that's going to be the plan as we get started. Again, this series is going to be a lot more focused on staff management, facility management, roster management, and we'll still be calling some plays. We'll be jumping around those, and we'll see how quickly we get through these games. Obviously, they did make the week-by-week process a little bit longer. Now, I was working with coming up with some ideas for house rules for this year. Originally, I started by saying unlimited recruits from equal stars. So by that, I mean right now, Sac State is a 1-star program. So we could recruit as many unlimited players of 1 star. But I'm thinking that might not actually help us really develop this roster, because the second option was, or secondary rule, I guess, for us is we could recruit 1 player per side that's a +1 star. So if we're a 1-star, they could be a 2-star. I just don't know how well we're going to do in actually developing the roster that way. The third caveat to that was anyone who had interest in us, we could go after. So if there was a 3-star or something that had interest, or even a 4-star, anything like that, we could look to do it that way. Not sure why no one's popping up with interest, because we already saw that there was some. But it looks like it's just some 2-stars at the top. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Do you think we should change it to unlimited prospects that are +1 or less than our overall or school prestige, and then we could bring in 1 player per side that is 2-star higher? Or should we stick to just 1-star higher for 1 player each and unlimited that are equal to? I just have a feeling that's going to limit what we're able to do entirely in building towards trying to get something done and building a roster that's better, right? Because both Sac State and UAB, they are an older roster. So something to keep an eye on. Also, again, we are avoiding the search function because I don't know how well that's working. I don't want the game to break again on us. So you like the interested. Good. So we'll definitely keep the interested. Unfortunately for us, that's, just 2 stars, so nothing fancy for us. I think we'll see what the overall kind of looks like with the first set, and then if we need to add more players later, it's something we could definitely do. Goal is to try to get through these seasons in about 3 or so streams. So about a season every week and a half to 2 weeks, I think, is kind of the goal we're looking for. It'll be a little bit slower out the gate than when we get into the season. Should definitely pick up the pace. So if we're looking at 2-star and under, or actually 1-star and under, we are a 1-star right now. There is a quarterback interested, a pure runner, though, not going to fit our archetype. And it is really important in College Football 27 to focus on those archetypes for the type of schemes you're playing, because you actually will have worse play from a higher rated player than a lower rated player who is the archetype fit for your scheme. So very important to keep that on mind. I hear for you reading defense videos. Appreciate that. Apparently those videos helped out a lot, which is great. Lost 45 to 42 your first game with Heisman. I mean, it's going to be difficult, right? And those videos were just breaking down the pre-snap reads. College Football 27 did a good job of making it to where you also have to ensure the post-snap read, right? So we're about halfway through. We're waiting to get about a month or so into College Football 27 before we start breaking down some post-snap reads, which will be on the way. So I think we're going to put Walter Doss on the board here. We'll see how he is, but again, we're not focused too much on the quarterbacks. We just know we probably need about one. We'll also need a fullback at some point, not high up on my priority list out the gate. As for receivers, archetypes we are looking for, we're going to be looking for the physical route runners, elusive route runners, and route artists to fill out our three different types of receivers, our X, Z, and our slot. So Cordell Butts, we were looking for more of that physical route runner. He does fit that mold. Put him on the board for now. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of guys that have interest in coming here. Gritty possession, gadget, speedster. Elusive route runner we will take a look at in Cole Durbin. Unfortunately, he is ranked in the 4,000s. Another elusive route runner a little bit higher. So we have some of our needs met, just not all of our needs met. And again, we can't really do that search function right now. I'm more so worried it's going to break. And we have 3 receivers on the board right now. Doesn't say we need receivers, but again, we know we need to overhaul that room. So we're going to add another physical route runner here and see if we have just any normal route runners, which doesn't seem to be high here whatsoever. There's one. Where did it go? There he is. Rod Banks. We'll add him to the board. That'll be it for receivers for now. And we only have 35 guys, 350 hours in the preseason to work with, which new this year, all you can do is scout. You cannot give any sort of scholarship offers or anything like that yet. Offensive line. Now we are building a pro-style offense, and I would like to focus a little bit more on some power here with us. So we're going to be looking for well-roundeds and raw strength. Now, for my tackles, I am purely looking for well-rounded. They're just going to give us a good all-around guy who could help around with some run blocking, some pass blocking, because we obviously will still be pass blocking. Problem with raw strength is that they might have really good of the strength or the power for the pass block, but the finesse is going to be awful. And we don't want our bookends having a weakness, right? So that is why I prefer the well-rounded on the outside. Also prefer it at center as well. John Enechukwu? I'm probably butchering that one. If there's any Enechukwus watching right now, I apologize. Also a fun part about recruiting more so over on the West Coast. A little bit more variety in names. How many tackles we got? 4 tackles. That should be good enough for now. Now, guards, I am looking at well-rounded or raw strength. Again, well-rounded because they can do both. Raw strength because we're going to be looking to run some more power-type plays. How about ISOs, some move the bodies. Got a well-rounded here in Burt. Raw strength in gold. I'm going to look for 4 more here. We got another well-rounded that we actually cannot target in the combo. Playing style not met. Well-rounded then Max Browning. And for Mayweather. So not seeing a whole lot there for the raw strengths. Center, we know we need some help there. Very weak at center. Well-rounded right off the top. Like to see that. And one at the very bottom. We'll keep an eye on Joe Dell. The good thing about these 1-stars is hopefully not very many people are actually trying to recruit them. So we don't have to give them as much points, right? Now, edge. We had, if I'm not mistaken, a fair few amount of some depth, right? Not really. Only 3. So we could definitely use with some guys there. Looking at some speed. Not looking at edge setters. Not with a 4.25. Some speed rushers. We got 3 on there. Would prefer to find a few power rushers. There we go. Enyon. And Miles doesn't like us because of pro potential. Makes sense. And all the power guys don't want to come here. We're really getting down the list. There we go. Some more power rushers. Another one gone, but there is Jamerson Hay. Give us a little bit more variety. Now, there were a lot of DTs on roster. Double check those DTs here real quick. We have 3 graduating, 4 juniors. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get a few more in the chamber. So for DT, 4.25, you're looking for 2 different kinds. You're looking for your nose tackle, your pure power guys, and you're going to be looking for a little bit more of a gap specialist. Not a whole lot of size, though, for some reason with these pure power guys. You got Hashim Poe, who's only 274. You got Rabak, 275. Toss 1 on there. You don't need that many. Got a gap specialist, 306. We'll add him to the board. These guys obviously are all initial. These boards could very well change throughout the season. Linebacker-wise, we don't really need jumpers, right? Because 4.25, everyone's going to be playing either off ball or deep in coverage. I added the development aspect to my 1-star rebuild of UNC Charlotte. That way I only recruit high school players and no JUCO. Yeah, I don't typically go for JUCOs. I have a feeling, though, that could change a little bit based off of these house rules and players that are actually interested in coming here. So we do have a few amount of some lurkers here. And we need a lot of linebackers. So I'm just going to add all of the top 6 we get. Mike linebackers looking more so for those signal callers. Get one at the top. Another one there. Need at least 1 more. Again, ignoring. We'll go with the lurker here in Cantrell because we are the first on his board. But lurkers and signal callers are going to be better for coverage, and that's what we need in a 4.25. D-line is primarily there to help with the run stop. Signal callers will help out as well there. As for cornerback, we are looking at field and zone archetypes. Good news for us, the top 2, eat that. Bump and run is more of a man style. Got another field guy here in Trey Soto. Safety-wise, we are out of spots right now. That's okay. We've got plenty to go over right now. But when it comes to safeties, we are going to be looking for coverage specialists and hybrids. Not box specialists. Hybrids are going to be playing that robber safety. Coverage specialists will be playing our deep 2 safeties. And we're probably going to rely a lot on coverage or Tampa 2, a little bit of some cover 4, cover 6, cover 9s. Those are going to be our base for sure. Obviously, we'll still run some 3 highs. We'll shift some guys around, but probably going to stick in a cover 2 shell and then rotate out to try to confuse some defenses. Or we are defense. Confuse some offenses. If we're confusing ourselves, we're not doing a great job. Now, again, we only have 35 players, 350 points. And one thing I did not check, we'll pop back into recruiting, but I am curious with our coaches what the abilities are going to be. Now, we do have some points we could spend here for ourselves, and in fact, that'll be a good thing to do because we are going to be a recruiter with Bobby Ellington. We also have recruiting help from our OC, not from our DC. Now, I will leave you guys a little earlier note here. We're in a rough spot when it comes to our UAB series because Coach Bronson Moreau, he's not a recruiter, and none of our coordinators are recruiters. So this first year is going to be tough. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But as for Coach, obviously, defensive line. That's where we're starting. We're also going to start with some upgrades here to the offensive line. He's a trench guy first. You're asking how I have these points? No, I did not spend any money. Because I had the pre-order, it comes with some points that you get when you start. Now, we will also look to upgrade defense first because Bobby Ellington was a defensive player. Increased chance to sway. I don't really do much of the swaying, and we're already too late for the increased starting point. So we still have a good amount of points here. We could just focus that on less time to just scout across the board, help ourselves out as much as possible. Okay, that was a graphical glitch. It's fine. It's only day 2, right? Can't expect much from EA. Now we'll go ahead and spin the 20 here on the D-line because, again, we're going to focus on that D-line first. So now we're going to have a little bit extra pointage then, or I guess a little bit more information per our point spending, whatever way you want to look at it. Glass half full, glass half empty. So that means when we scout here, we're going to spend 10. So we're going to scout everyone one time. Instead of the 20%, we're going to get 60%. That's actually a massive save in terms of points, and it'll help give us a good idea of what we're looking at with these quarterbacks. So Walter Doss, or all these recruits, but Walter Doss is the quarterback. Good short accuracy, really bad medium accuracy. He might not be the quarterback we want for our future. If he can't throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field, that's not going to help us out much. Obviously, we still have some time to develop, but not looking great for Doss. I'm actually going to remove him from the board. Cordell Butts, I would love to call some touchdown plays with him, but that speed is horrendous. That's another guy off our board. Cole Durbin, more of our Z receiver. I can't do these speeds. I can't do these speeds. Just give me a little bit of some speed. I need mid-80s. 81 there as a physical route runner. We might have to keep him on the board for now. It's not looking extremely promising. We got a route artist here, Rod Banks. Typically, these guys aren't extremely fast. Short route running, medium route running, potential. Not a deep route runner, but that's fine because right now we can't pass deep anyway. More so worried about the catch in traffic, and that is pretty low. So it's not looking very promising right now for these receivers. For the offensive line, I like it so far. Prince Okereke. Would love for him to be related to Bobby Okereke of Stanford. Now, not looking as good here. That's a lot of very low ratings. I'm actually going to pull. I know these guys are 1-star too. Trying to keep that in mind. Not a great pull there from scouting. We don't get much information. Can't pull or really decide to keep him around with that. Decent run block power there. Keep him around for now. Good run block, good pass block. That's definitely a guy we're keeping around. Gunnar Gold. That's a great name for a raw strength guard. But that pass block power is very low. The run block power isn't that great either. Surprisingly, the run block finesse is high there in the range. Still could end up being low because of the archetype. I feel like I need another round of scouting to decide on that one. That's 4. Trying to see where that run block. Not very promising either. We're going to make some room. Mayweather. Pass blocking isn't great. Has some decent impact block. Keep him around for now. Again, these guys are 1-stars. Trying to keep that in mind. Joe Dell, that's a good start. Like seeing some 70s in there. Getting over to the defense now. Good acceleration. I think we could work with the finesse moves. Again, he's a 1-star. Speed range is high. I like that. Enrique Gaskin. Really good speed there. Moves are an unknown. He might just be a pure athlete. Ray Robinski? I want to add an N there. Speed 67. You're a speed rusher. You're like our 255-pound nose tackle. Really bad finesse moves. Good news, he's a power guy. Not much information to really say yay or nay yet. A, again, next to no information there. Plus, we're getting less on the defensive side here. We're only getting 40%. Meanwhile, with the offense, we're getting 60%. Probably because of our coordinator. Yeah, our offensive coordinator had scouting. So that's why we're getting a little bit extra there. All right, for Rasheem Poe, nose tackle. He doesn't need to be fast. We need him to be strong. And that is potentially still there. Good acceleration for the big guy. 306 for the gap specialist. Into the linebackers, we know we need some help there. Not much information gathered. Not a great man coverage guy there with Lurker. Decent zone coverage, though. Speed range high. Good tackle rating, again, for a 1-star. That's an awful pull. We get no information. Good play rec. Not a good pursuit guy, but he's a thumper. Why do we have a thumper? Thought I said no thumpers. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pull him off the board. That's my bad. Another thumper. What was I doing here? I was just adding everybody. I got ad happy. All right, signal caller. Ad pull. Not great for the man coverage. Awareness, though, isn't bad. Decent speed. Good acceleration. Awareness is low. But not enough information to decide yay or nay on any of these guys yet. 82 speed. That's rough at corner. That is a problem, though, with field types. They normally are on the slower side, but that's rough. Decent size, though, to potentially switch over to a linebacker who need to add a few pounds, but be interesting. You can do that after the first year. Can't do that after the second year. You get one free position switch, and then you get that awareness and play rec hit. I'm not liking it. I'm going to pull off north. Big Hill. Not a whole lot of information there. Agility is all right. And that's all of our... Actually, no, we do have one more point we could spend. So I feel like we might need to find ourselves one more corner, perhaps, or receiver. Wish we're at the transfer portal. Not quite there yet. Also don't have a quarterback on the board. Maybe we look back at the quarterbacks here. Better bang for our buck in terms of their percentage scouted. Again, thanks to our OC. So we didn't like DOS. Still looking for that pocket passing quarterback. We've got one here in Montel Paul, Flower Mound, Texas. Throwing power's not great, but he does have the medium accuracy. Short shouldn't be too bad either. He might be the guy we're looking for then. And that's all we get to do here in the opening week. Again, all you can do is scout. There's no way to add or to give any sort of scholarships or anything like that. It's all blanked out. Not just because we're at hours, but that's blocked. Can't do any of that yet. Not going to change the schedule. We're going to have it be as it is. We are ready then to jump into the season and see what Bobby Ellington can do. Stepping into Sacramento State, it's a long way from home, being from just outside Atlanta, Georgia. Played for Kent State, played for Georgia Tech as well. Now he heads out to the West Coast to try to see the Hornets to an all-over rebuild. Now, the AD focused a little bit more so on that background task, which is why I think it was a good fit here. But that signed top 100 class, that is going to be rough. It's gonna rely a lot for us on the transfer portal. Eastern Michigan. First up, we got a night game to open up the year. It's on the road. No chance of rain. 85 degrees. Weekly practice plan. We all know we love this thing. So far, I have found it to be pointless. All healthy. We'll confirm. Increased composure for one of the running backs you wanted to see the playing field. So that's good news, at least for us. Now, before we end up hitting the field, we do need to set our depth chart because, again, we did change around what we're doing here. But before even that point, let's finish or keep going at least with the recruiting side of things. So now that we're in season, we have 275 points we could use. Now, we could give everyone on the board 10 points straight up out the gate, and I think that's what we're going to focus on to at least get us a good jump start. And then someone's going to get an extra 5 points. You want to save the offer scholarship for a little bit because that is where you're actually going to offer NIL packages and all that. It kind of wants to be almost your last push. Or if you start to notice other teams offering players you want, then maybe start to look a little bit more towards giving that scholarship offer to keep up in the fight or perhaps jump in front of someone if you're consistently just trailing behind. But early on here, we did enough with the scouting that I feel comfortable, again, knowing that we need to bring in at least a lot of players. We're looking for bodies at this point, giving everyone those 10 points. And then we'll find our top target, give them the extra 5, and that'll be all of our points we've had for the first week. And then based off of that, if we get a good jump, we could come back in the following weeks, take off some points, do a little bit more scouting, really find if they're exactly what we're looking for. But right now, we're Sac State. We're beggars. We can't be choosers. Choosers is when we get to the off season and hopefully have ourselves a little bit more points to spend. If we could also save some money when it comes to recruiting. Right now, we have $505 in our budget for recruiting. I believe most of the guys we brought in, I actually wasn't checking, but most of the guys that are 1-stars aren't going to be asking for really any NIL. If they are, it's very minimal. We're talking 5 or 10. And math did math, so we've got 5 extra points. And if we sort this by national ranking, we do have a JUCO on here in Mario Big Hill. Didn't notice that originally. Can't say I see information there that really makes me want to go after him. There were some good offensive linemen. Can't give the extra points to an 81 speed receiver. Could give the extra 5 here to a well-rounded tackle. Quarterback potentially could as well. We look at these linemen just in one group here. Who looks to be the best? That might be Burt. I feel like it is. Let's give Burt the extra 5 then. Really make sure we're doing well. Because we actually dropped, or actually no, we weren't on most of these guys' radar originally. So now that we're giving them all points, which is another good reason to forego the scouting right now. We are first on the board for Cantrell. We are 6th on the board for Beneka. 4th on the board for Poe. Yeah, we're definitely in a fighting battle right now. Session, we are at least 6 on the board. That's going to be our recruiting out the gate. That's what it's going to look like for a lot of us. We're not going to be able to do as much early on here. But we do have Eastern Michigan. Let's get our depth chart set. We're actually going to jump into our first game. See how Sac State's ready to play. Quarterback, we will have Conklin start. We are paying a lot of our quarterbacks here, so some of these guys who are asking for some money, I honestly wouldn't be against letting them leave a bit earlier. Looks good to me. Again, I want to see some good rotation with that running back room. Kuntz, that's a great name for a fullback / tight end. Physical route runner. I don't believe we have any sort of true blockers. No. We'll let Kuntz get the start there at fullback. Receivers are just kind of be a toss-up this year because they don't exactly match what we're looking for anyway. Jordan Williams is the main guy. Kuntz is the second guy at tight end. Now, we were looking to shift some guys around. Indeed, our right guard does move over to left guard. Really weak at center. And then we want our backup left tackle Right? Was it? This one was the... No, it was the right tackle. Backup right tackle. Blank is going to slot in there at guard then. That's going to give us the best possible line we've got. Taking a quick run through of the linebackers. We'll get to really learn these guys as the games go on. Zyman, that's his name. That's who I was thinking of. Ryan Carthian reminds me a lot of Derek Zyman. We do not have a good kicker. Really bad power, so we're going to have to get close. Keep that in mind. Third down running back is Curtis. I want to make the second guy here still Rainey. Want to make sure we got some decent speed out there. Power back is going to be Rainey. I'm good with that. Going to make sure we still have that rotation. Landry Burrell is going to be playing in the slot. Make sure we don't have any linebackers playing edge rush. Exactly like that. Get the extra speed rusher out there. Power guy backing him up. Adams could also play. Or not? Oh, because he is the starter out there. Okay, yeah. Not going to be able to play then. We'll switch them around, make sure we're not messing around much here when we're out on the field. Enough there. Black corner is an actual corner. Yeah, that's going to be a work in progress for sure. That robber safety we just don't really have on roster. All right, we're ready to hit the field then. First game here in Coach Mode. Do want to check real quick. I mentioned this last time. If you're playing a Coach Mode, you're not the one dictating what's happening out on the field, right? That's where the Heisman difficulty comes in. So you want to actually play All-American. That is the base game. All you are doing is choosing plays. So switching this isn't going to affect the difficulty out on the field. It's actually just going to make it to where it's playing properly, right? So if you're going to do a Coach Mode, I suggest All-American. If you are playing the actual Dynasty, the games happening out on the field, do play with Heisman. And in fact, Matt 10 already released his Heisman slider, so make sure you do check that one out. You can find it on Operation Sports and on Matt 10's Twitter. Everything else should be good. Also just want to double check Coach Mode is on. We are good then to get this started. First game on the road. We are heading out to Michigan. Now this is a night game. Sacramento State, they do not have their mascot in the game nor their real stadium. As for uniforms, there is a little bit of some variety. They only have one helmet. As for jerseys, they got the white, they got the black, and they have the green. So we cannot, unfortunately, go with a whiteout because they don't have the extra helmet. I'm hoping at some point they do patch that in. We got the proper playbooks in. We are ready to rock and roll. Let's get on in then to game number one, the first official game of College Football 27 on the channel. Of a true series, not just a test as well. We head out to Eastern Michigan, the gray field. In Bobby Ellington's first game as head coach, he will be up in the booth, calling down the plays, and we're just going to see how these boys come ready to play. What adjustments need to be made? Who makes a name for themselves early on, and who wrecks their opportunity early on? We're going to be pretty quick in moving guys around. If we see a weakness, we're going to try some different guys out because this roster is not going to be staying most likely the same after season one. Expect a lot of turnover and hopefully a strong transfer portal class. But that's a long way down the line. It's time the Hornets open up their first season of FBS ball. And it will be with the defense headed out first. Season 1 is underway. We don't have a very strong kicker, so that one does not quite get back to the end zone. Good cut there, and it will be starting deep at the 17. Nick Devereaux, the quarterback, or receiver actually, are highlighting the receiver. Not good news for us because we don't have a great defensive back group. Let's go ahead and pause on up that music. Now, again, we're focused on that 4-2-5 defense. We're looking for shell coverage here to be more of a cover 2 style. And again, we will rotate around. We're going to be most likely watching from this view. We'll jump in occasionally with that closer view as they're closer to the midfield. Otherwise, you just really can't see much. Big gap down the middle. It's going to be Eastern Michigan with a nice gain of 2 there. Not much from the inside run stoppage. Bobby Ellington with high expectations of his defensive line. There'll be trips look up top, one down the bottom here. And a more handoff down the middle. Good fill coming from the linebacker. 33 is, however, still a first down. Alex Roca with the tackle. Again, a lot of unknown with this roster. We'll see who makes the names and who does the opposite of that. Tight end with a quick hitter here. Right now, Eastern Michigan picking up some good chunks per play. Looking for a little bit of a blitz package here. Doesn't seem like we have too many good blitzes. We might need to play around with the playbooks. Obviously, a lot of new playbooks were brought in here for the defense specifically. Little bubble screen, another first down for Eastern Michigan. Noah Kim, good short accuracy there for him. There's a little bit of a zone blitz. A little bit more of a confusing look up front, or at least as much as we possibly can get. They drop back. It's halfback screen underneath and still going to rumble forward for a nice gain on first down. Might have to test out. At least for year one, we do have some decent man coverage. We could try out a little bit of some man in there as well. You can still see the play art as well if you're in coach mode. You can still make your pre-snap adjustments too. That passes out quick. Eastern Michigan not showing much sign of trouble out there. And Prosper with the catch. There to the Oppo 40-yard line now plus side. Keeps looking like, I don't know if it's the font, but the corner down at the bottom looks like it's 72 when you see it from the side. Be a crazy number for a corner. But hey, I guess if defensive line and offensive guys, if numbers don't matter anymore, why not? Give a cornerback number 72. We'll play action here. Line picks up the blocks until the very end. They're just a hit in on the quarterback. Pass is incomplete. That is 3rd and 7. Defense looking for a stand here. Try to force either a long field goal attempt or a punt. It's speed option. They get to the quarterback, but he pitches out. Running back totes it down to the 31. But it doesn't look like the offense is going anywhere. They're going to stay out on the field. Defense has got to come away with a big-time stop here. It'll be a tight bunch up top. One spread down to the bottom. Shotgun look. It's a quarterback. No, he actually did hand that one off. Looked like that was play action. The running back gets the job done. I do wish this camera was just a little bit tighter. And again, that's a really good play action, but they do hand it off. We have been gashed in the running game right now. That means our line is not doing a good job of protecting the gaps, and our linebackers aren't flowing to those gaps to help fill in the hole. Throwing this time wide open underneath, slipping the tackle, first down, Eastern Michigan. We're going to look to go to a heavier set here down by the end zone. It's 1st and goal from just inside the 5, bringing out the heavy unit defense, all the DTs. And they're going to go with another handoff. There's a fill. That's what we want to see. Big man making the stop. That is Austin Chambers. Hurts negative play for Eastern Michigan. They lose about a yard and a half. Back on the other side of the 6. Tight end going to motion up to the top. And it's another handoff. This time he's got a gap, and he's got a touchdown. First one given up of the year. Bennett caps off the promising opening drive here for Eastern Michigan. Looks like the run game is going to be the focus for both teams in this game. And that means we definitely are going to need to work on this defensive line because that did not look very good. I'll look for the PAT here to make it 7-0. And it's no problem. Eastern Michigan, do they have a practice field inside that dome back there? It reminded me a little bit of the Vandals up in Idaho. Offense will shortly take the field here as we get a pretty decent return. Honestly, one of the better returns I've seen in college football, 27 so far. We started at 21, and that is Rainey on the return. Now the number 1 back hits the field. Number 1, Jamar Curtis. Highest overall player on the team. And we're going to be looking to follow him throughout this one. Try to take a little bit of pressure off our quarterback as much as possible with his lack of throwing abilities. And he's got a pretty big gap there, but somehow taken down rather quickly. Marshall with a tackle for Eastern Michigan, only a gain of 3. As we look for our first throw, it's quick outside. That's going to be a big hitter to the 40 and finally taken down about the 42. We're going to see a lot of play action with this offense as well. Try to get the defense dialed down to the run game and then look for a little something cheap. Big running lane here, Curtis into plus side territory. 14-yard rush. And hopefully that's one of the shorter long ones of the day. I form. Limited space that time, but picking up 2. The whole thing when you run a pro-style offense, and really any offense, you just need about 3 to 4 yards per play. We don't quite get the 3 there. We need to make up for it on second down. With a handoff, running through the big man, that'll help us out. Make it a 3rd and 4. We'll look for the drag underneath here. Now, a lot of time came off the clock with that first possession of Eastern Michigan. Going to make sure we get a first down here. Coverage looks pretty good. Thrown on the drag. Broken tackle. And powers through the second. But it looks like we're going to get a little bit of some home field advantage. Eastern Michigan probably not going to have enough time here. We're going to let this one hit the quarter break. And we've got a decision. 4th and inches for Sacramento State. Got to feel with how much success Eastern Michigan had in that opening drive of theirs. The Eagles easily marching down the field, did anything they wanted. You don't want to give them too much momentum early on. That being said, you also don't want to give them a chance to find an early 2-score lead freely. The big boys are out. Goal line v. goal line. We're going to hit the sideline here. What was that? That's not a quarterback sneak whatsoever. Gotta love it, EA. Well, it's a turnover on downs after our quarterback forgot what a sneak is. 1st and 10, Eastern Michigan. As they go back to that bubble screen, going to pick up a nice gain of 4. Play 1 again. That's all you need. 3 to 4 yards of play, and your offense is golden. Of course, a lot of football nowadays is predicated more so off of 10 yards per play. The clean pocket, stepping up and throwing close to the marker. They're not going to give the Eagles the mark either. Need to try to send a little bit more of an aggressive look here. Yeah, I don't like how EA switched around the pre-snap adjustment buttons. There was just no need for it. 3rd and inches. And they're going to have it plus a whole lot more to the Oppo 38-yard line. Yeah, we got to figure out something here with this defensive line because they are getting absolutely gashed. Probably because our nose tackle weighs that of a linebacker. But it is 1st and 10 here as they go with a little bit more RPO. That's a good tackle, good flyover as well, and an injury after the play. Couldn't tell you who it is. That's great. Appreciate that. Look to bring a little bit of an extra guy here this time. 2nd and 10. Good view from the sideline on this play. We're going to look to bring 5. Leave the middle a little bit open. Pressure gets back there. It's going to be a dump off, and there's no one underneath. It's going to be a 1st down for the Eagles by the 30. Just simple pitch and catch out there right now for Eastern Michigan. As they hand this one off, he's got space to the outside, turning up at the numbers, taking it down to the 10-yard line. I do feel like they updated the sideline cam here. We tested this out a couple days ago. It was before the day 1 update. We really couldn't see much of anything. It looks a little bit better here. So we'll kind of bounce back and forth like I mentioned. Once again, they are down inside the 10. We're going to go to our big boy set here. There's going to be trips down to the bottom. One up top. One up top. We'll play action. In a little bit of a rush, we hit the quarterback's ankles there at least. Closest we've gotten to a sack so far. And it's come whenever we brought the big boys out here. So clearly it's the DTs who are providing something. It might be that 3rd DT who's maybe making something happen. We bring a little extra blitz here. It's forcing the quarterback to roll. He's under pressure, and that's going to be a sack. Back at the 21, Miles Bailey. First to pick it up here for Bobby Ellington's defense. That's 4th and 21. Eagle mascot throwing a fit out there. I have noticed with these lower overall teams, they got a lot of defensive tackles wearing the numbers in the 50s. I don't know what that's all about. Is that a trend here in the young players nowadays? Field goal is good. Coming off the turnover on downs, Eastern Michigan tacks on 3, make it 10-0 midway through the 2nd quarter. Now as we look to get the ball back, the running game was looking pretty decent for us. Fortunately, I don't know if it's a bug. If you call a dive and because you don't have the meter, and obviously the meter's a new thing, right? Maybe we just avoid quarterback dives for right now. Either way, we're going to focus in on Curtis. Hopefully see a little bit of some Rainey as well, but there is no room to run there. Not quite getting the blocking we needed from that left side of the line. Do, however, pick up about half a yard or so. Drop back pass is caught. Turning up, that's going to be a 1st down rumbling. I believe 27 is the tight end. That is Moses. Actually, Moses is a receiver. Okay, then. 27. Who would have thought? DT's numbers in the 50s and receivers numbers in the 20s. It happens a lot, it seems like, with these low overall teams. Maybe because they're supposed to play a couple different positions, perhaps. But it's 2nd and 10. And back to the run game. This time much better off that left-hand side. Curtis with the 1st down here. Would like to go a little bit of some play action. Coach was also thinking the same thing here. Now, this play does have a little bit more passing downfield. Obviously, we know with our quarterback, he doesn't quite have the accuracy downfield. So a bit of a gamble, but he's got his man over the middle. Big gain as once again we find ourselves plus side. This time, we are down to the 24. Approaching the 2-minute mark as well. It's I form. Handoff. And some more running room. Curtis, he takes that one up top. I need to do better when we do see that bouncing to the outside, see if we could switch the camera and get a better view of that run. But we do head inside. 2 minutes to play here. We are down to the 11. Looking for our first score of the season. It's a draw. Curtis down the middle will fight for a couple there. Actually does pick up 5 yards. Timeout called here by Eastern Michigan. Battle of greens happening out on the field. Also 2 different flying animals. I don't know. Well, no, because an insect is not a mammal. 2 flying variety. Hornets, Eagles. That's going to be a touchdown for Sac State. We are on the board, and it's our quarterback doing the one thing he can do. Short accuracy finds Matthew Coleman. It was a good drive. Need to see a little bit more like that. And in fact, if you're enjoying things here today, make sure you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button as well. We get on the board here. 10 with the extra point should make it 7. And a little under 2 minutes for Eastern Michigan to try to answer. And then we might start jumping through the second half a little bit faster. Jump into some key moments. Do kick this one away. Again, we don't have a great kicker, so we're not going to really boot this one far, but it should take some time off the clock. Pretty solid return. Takes it up to the 23-yard line. And we know we haven't seen the best of coverage from our defense so far. Need to lock things down for 1:45 here. And it's going to be a handoff down the middle, trying to find some space and picking up 4. Good run. That's an interesting way of doing the hurry up. They get back to the line. 2 spread to the bottom. 3 up top. It's empty set. Eagles got time in the pocket. He rolls, throws up top. That one's going to be jarred free. Good timing there on that hit. That leaves us 3rd and 6. Now we could potentially look to be calling a timeout if this one is stopped before the line to gain. They motion out the running back. 4-man rush. One guy's down on the ground, stepping up the quarterback for the Eagles. He's going to pick it up, no problem. Good job of just keeping his head on a swivel there. They get back to the line, keeping 2 spread either side. Another drop back pass, 4-man rush, and throws, almost hitting our coach on the sideline. Though he didn't look too upset about it. He just kept right in the same spot. Looked to bring some heat this time. Dial up some double A-gap blitz. See how well the Eagles line can hold. They get some motion. A little bit of double play action. Passes over the middle, and they're going to get it close. 3rd and 1. They're going to hustle back up to the line here. 2 up top, 1 down to the bottom. Another quick rush, but a great catch over the middle. That is a 1st down here as they continue marching. 1st and 10. They're inside 50 seconds at the 49. They bring a little bit extra. This pass lofted downfield. It's caught, reeling it in. No, just kidding. In and out of the hands. His quarterback probably not going to be all too happy there either. Looked like he almost had it. 2nd and 10. Pretty good throw, though, from the quarterback. And that one's going to get picked off. Over the middle, lurking, number 4. We are still learning names around here. That is Antonio? Antoni? I didn't see what it all was, but there was an A-N-T at the beginning of that one. Big play downfield for Sac State. That gives our offense 36 seconds to work with. Dante Antonini, will linebacker. That's a name I haven't seen before. See if we can find ourselves in a field goal range here. We do have 3 timeouts to work with. We're going to jump up to the top end view here as we're going to look to try to push things downfield, and antsy in the pocket to say the least. Be a good way to judge how much of that clutch gene our quarterback has. No hard counts available here, mind you, in coach mode. 4-man rush is picked up well. We get our running back out of the backfield. 1st down around the midfield line. We call our first timeout. Again, we don't have a strong arm quarterback. Accuracy downfield isn't great, so we're not looking for anything massive. We need some underneath concepts as well. About 25 seconds to work with here. Stepping up in the pocket. He throws out late to avoid the sack. Again, we don't have burners at quarterback either. Carson Conklin trying to do what he can here. Probably need to get around the 30 or so yard line to really attempt any sort of field goal here. As he throws over the middle, that is not a fumble by any stretch of the imagination. But this ball is being returned the other way. Referees don't blow the whistle, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Eagles. I don't know about you. I mean, I get letting that play run. You could always challenge the play, double check it from the booth. Looked like from where we were watching, that was not a fumble. Incomplete pass, but they're right now saying Eastern Michigan. And it definitely looks like Moses' knee was down. So Bobby Ellington's going to throw that red challenge flag. I'm pretty sure knee was down, elbow was down, wrist was down. Basically anything you need to be down there was down. We will challenge that play. It will be overturned. And we're going to call a timeout because I believe they're going to start running that clock. Because technically that was a completed pass over the middle. Taken down in front of the line to gain, so clock would roll. We are now at the 45 as the first challenge of the series is indeed overturned. 11 seconds to try to get into range here. I did not tell you to change camera angle. But we do get the grab. He's still rolling down to the 3. We've got to call the timeout there now. If I was playing, I would send the offense out there and go for a slant here, something quick. But I don't trust the quarterback's going to throw this one quick. So instead, we're going to look to try to tie this game up now. It's a harsh angle. Right hash. Oh, but it's no problem. We will tack on the 3 here and tie this game. Coming off the pick from the defense, we hit halftime, or there just about. 1 second to spare. I guess we'll go ahead and boot this one off, then take it to halftime. In game 1 of Coach Bobby Ellington's career with Sac State. I'm going to feel pretty happy here so far. The offense is working about as we were hoping it would. It was a slow start for the defense, but that big turnover as Eastern Michigan was looking to get some extra points in there by the end of the first half. Instead, we flipped the script, tied this game up 10-10 at halftime. Not a whole lot to be upset about here. Again, first game in the FBS. A little thing about what's happening around the country. Not too sure we're that worried about NC State and Virginia over in the ACC. There's not a whole easier way of quickly moving through these. San Jose State getting beat up there early on, and then that one was fast, right? That was one I needed more time on, not on the previous screen. We'll look to get the second half underway here. And we will do that starting by jumping through a little bit faster here. Again, this is kind of how the series is going to go, right? We're going to jump in. We're going to play some, calling those plays. We're going to sim through some, playing a little bit of play the moments, if you will. Straight up simming some games, but right now Curtis going off 36-yard rush has us hitting the field as we look to watch some more points being scored. Got to make sure we're still getting some rotation there. Haven't really seen Rainey hit the field here offensively. No gain after that 36-yarder. We'll change things up a little bit here then, 2nd and 10. Bunch down to the bottom. Dropping back here. Clean pocket throws close to the mark. It's going to be 3rd and inches. That one caught by the man who had our touchdown there in the first half as well. Big boy set. High form. A little pre-snap motion across. Help try to open up a lane. Curtis is up in the air. Flipped, but not getting that first down. Now we could look to go for things here. But we also need to remember where we are, right? We are in our first year of FBS. Well, Eastern Michigan may not be a top-tier team. We should be close enough for a field goal attempt here. Taking our first lead of the season. We tack on the 3. It's 13-10 here. We were hoping for more after that big near 40-yard rush from Curtis. We'll take 13-10. And we'll get back on into that quicker sim. Again, jumping in for some key moments here in the second half of things. Seeing how it all unfolds. Penalty there, not a good way to start. That'll be a first down off just 5 yards. Noah Kim had a pretty good first half. That time, no gain on the scramble, only 2 following. It's 3rd and 8, a chance to get off the field, and it's a sack. Zay Adams. Got to pick up some sacks. You need some dominant D-line play when you got Bobby Ellington in charge. Thrown away on our play 1, thrown away on our play 2. It's 3rd and 10 here quickly, and we've got 10. That's a first down. Just need to make sure we keep picking these up. We'll say Matthew Coleman having a pretty good first game. Sack, though, given up down the middle. 2nd and 19. We get 16 back. Jordan Williams making the splash play, number 16. And then it's thrown away. Looks like we're going to be settling up for another field goal attempt here. We punted. We couldn't attempt a field goal from there. We are not sitting in a good spot there. Got to make sure we bring in a new kicker, I guess. 17 yards, Nick Devereaux. First time we've really seen him make that big impact, or at least where we can see his name. 3rd and 8. Defense is trying to settle in, but that's a free 5 yards. Probably jumping early, leaves 3rd and 3, and that's 5 yards first down, Harold Mack. Looking like we're about to hit the 4th quarter here. Pretty quiet 3rd, as indeed we are in the final quarter of regular play, and we are getting that ball back. Let's hit the field here as we look to try to take a hold of this game. Got a long field in front of us. We start back at the 14. There'll be a handoff to Curtis. He's going to pick up a nice gain. I am curious where he's sitting. Attempt 13. I think that's fine. I ideally would like around 20 carries for him a game, and then around 10 more for Rainey, but we just haven't really seen Rainey hit the field. Big hit there, though, from the linebacker. Looked like Curtis had a clean gap to hit that first down. Not quite. Good block shed. Now we're at the 21. We needed the 24. Check down. First down over the middle. Finding Williams. Not quite at the point here I'm looking to chew clock, but we're just going to let this drive go smoothly. Taking our time here, not necessarily rushing back up to the line. Let the big fellas move the line. Curtis finally pops free. He is over 100 yards rushing on the day. That's what we're talking about. Big boy football. Get some motion across here. Little distraction. Handing it back off Curtis. Once again, he breaks through, and he is still rumbling. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Hornets. Play that funky music. We've got a touchdown on the board and a 2-score lead here in the 4th quarter. How about that camera change as well mid-play? What a run. We knew Curtis was going to be the key guy on this team. Line gave him a gap. He hit it, and there was just no catching him, though Dobbs tried it. That's what we want to see a whole lot of here in this series. That and a whole lot more. I had a feeling the run game was going to be the strongest part of 27 early on. They're just playing about one game. That seems to be the case. Now with this lead a little bit more in our favor, we could jump through a little bit more freely. Though if we do see the Eagles get down around the 20, 25-yard line, we will jump in. They start with a couple good plays, though, then thrown away and an injury to one of their offensive linemen. 2nd and 10. Penalty. Backing them up. Do wonder if that could have been a backup coming in. 2nd and 20. Thrown away. 3rd and 20. They only give up 7. 4th and 13. You imagine that they punt this one away. No, they went for it, and it's a sack. We're looking to run away with this one. Penalty as well on the Eagles. We are down inside the 10. Let's hit the field. About 4 minutes to play. It's 2nd and 4. Going nice and tight this time. Up by 10. It's a counter run. Curtis slips but can't quite keep his feet. No, it's not high up on my radar here. But we got a little bit of some movement with our quarterback. Let's see if we can get a sneaky one in here. Let me go from the top up view. And indeed, we do get the sneak. And he lowers the shoulder. That's a touchdown for the quarterback, Conklin. He's not going to run much. We're not going to want him to use that throwing shoulder as well to run through defenders. But in game 1 of FBS play, we will take it. Carson Conklin running through that DB, crossing that goal line. We've got ourselves a very comfortable lead here in the 4th quarter. We might just be seeing this one on through to the end as well. 27-10. Eastern Michigan, they definitely had us there in the first half. And they are already giving the ball back. 2 straight turnovers on downs now. We got Rainey in the ball game. And we've got another score. Couldn't see who that one was by. That is Jamar Curtis with yet another rushing touchdown. We're going to take this one to the close. Game 1 here, a massive success for Coach Bobby Ellington as we get the ball back here to kneel this one out. A dominant win on the road in your FBS debut, 34-10. The Hornets come to town and they take down the Eagles. A $187, 21 attempts for Curtis. He's probably going to need a little bit of a lighter practice this next week. He might have earned it. But that is what we're looking for here out the gates. Massive opening game. And hopefully we get to see a lot more from this running game. We got a few good pieces up on the offensive line, again, for this level. Defensive line looked a little bit worrisome out the gate. Overall, though, I'm very happy about that. Leave your thoughts on that opening game here, either in the chat or in the comments, wherever it is you're watching, whether live or in post. Before we get on out of here, let's sort of grab a nice good screenshot here of our coach, right? We need a little bit more of him over on that sideline. Where are we at, Mr. Bobby Ellington? Looking at the, no, it wasn't looking at the right side. We're on the road. Where are we at, Bobby? There we are. Got me anything good here? I'll take it. There we go. Got to get something here to start using in these thumbnails. I'm going to start grabbing a few of these, each from different games here and there. There we go. Won't make you guys sit through too much of that, though. How about that opening game, man? It was a dominant second half here for us. Already getting our level up. Now, one thing that they did release was that there's supposed to be some... not exactly XP sliders per se. I don't know if they've implemented it into the game here yet. But they did kind of tweak the XP that you can gain. But I don't see it anywhere in here. There's supposed to be 3 new settings. It was posted, I know, by a lot of people. Bordeaux has been the one that I've been keeping an eye on. This what I'm looking for? No, this will just be for the players themselves, not for our coach. Gameplay sliders? No. And for this series, I'm keeping all of those normal. Again, not using the slider set from Mat 10. Because again, this is a sim-based series. If it's in here? No. Yeah, then maybe just they haven't put it in yet. It could possibly be it. But they gave a little bit. They basically made it to where they did put back the fast setting from last year. Basically, the faster is just the fast. And the normal that they had set was basically, I think, slowest. So they really reeled back the XP you could gain, which again is why we are leaving the hashtag up in the top right until they completely remove microtransactions. We'll continue with the CFB play, don't pay. And make sure you guys are following with that. Don't give EA, don't give the suits any more of your money. The devs, they made a fun game, right? The devs earned it. The suits did not. Let's head on over then to our next week. Nothing left for us to do there. We'll check back in on recruiting. I did get the background music pumping again, right? Yes, I did. Good. Level 2 with Coach Bobby. And right now, the AD loves us. Hopefully that stays the case. And we get a MAC Player of the Week defensive for Dante Antonini. 2 tackles, 3 assists. Did have that pick. Don't know why they didn't show it there. What about Curtis? And we're going to get Curtis as well. MAC Offensive Player of the Week. What about National Offensive Player of the Week? Can't go for 3, you know? But now we should have a very much easier opponent. FCS West, this will probably be when we get in and start simming initially and then see where we're at maybe in the second half or so. But as for recruiting, looks like we're all maxed up there. We'll still jump into that, keep an eye on it. As for what we're looking like after the first game, I know there's going to be people listed here for limited practice. One thing I noticed, I like to check this because some of these guys, like Xavier Williams here, wants limited practice, but he has a low risk of injury. There's no body part on him that is really injured whatsoever. So I think he should be full practice. The rest of these guys should probably be on limited because they do have that increased risk. So we want to make sure that they're feeling a little bit healthier, right? We just go over to full. I just want to kind of speed run through this, see if I see anyone who actually has any body damage whatsoever, but it doesn't quite seem to be the case. So we are perfectly fine to lock that in. Couple increased composures there, but no negative effects. That's what we want to see. Recruiting, we'll double check that again before we get on into the game. And we do see ourselves move up here for Terrell Sessions. That's good. Again, a lot of these guys, we were not on their board initially. No other movement, it seems like, for the other team, so we're not pressing much. Pasco. Not really seeing much of a jump here for us. Again, we might have not even been on any of these guys' radar, so it could take a couple weeks. I'm more so just looking to see that we don't have any down arrows, right? And Burt, we do see that nice jump up. He's the man we gave the 15 points. We're all the way to the top. A lot of these guys were sitting at 10th on the interest board. So we did move up, but we didn't move up into the top 9. We are top, though, for Max Kenyon. Top for Hashim Poe. Up to second for Faneka. I believe is how I said that before. Beitu Faneka. Top on the board for Cantrell. So we're moving up on these boards. Again, we don't have much money, time to work with here, so we're kind of just letting these guys sit for a little bit. And then when we get to the later end of the season, that's when we'll go in and decide if we want to add in the availability to look at 2 stars. Then we'll see those guys as well. And just feel it out a little bit. But not much for us to do in between these 2 weeks. Just basically head right back into a new game. This is one I expect that we should win. However, there is one thing I do want to do. That is in auto subs. I want to make sure we are trying to keep our guys fresh here. I want a little bit more rotation there. So let's try to bump this up a little bit. See if we get a little bit more rotation happening in there. In fact, push this up to 80. Leave this at 87. We'll lock that in. That's really the only position group I think we could do that with. With that, let's jump around that a whole lot and head on into our first game, this one at home. So with that, we might go ahead and watch the opening drive here for us. Before we hop out there, I want to see what time this game was at. 3 o'clock, okay. Normally, if it's a night game, I like to break out the black uniforms at home. So, had to double check, but it looks like we're going to be rocking the green out. No crowd pattern. That's unfortunate. Let's get ready to rock and roll. We're facing the Pink Toads. Take my face on out of here. No one needs to see that. We need some more game action. Also, what are you guys feeling about this 2K quality on the streams? If it ever lags, chops, anything like that, do let me know. We can mess around with the settings to make sure it stays clean for you. But we've got our home opener. And for true Sac State fans, you know this is not your stadium. Hopefully it will be patched in at some point. But for right now, for EA at least, it was good enough. Now, is that good enough for all of us? Who knows? But it is our home opener. Sacramento State Stadium, they're calling it, as we host the Purple Toads, or whatever they're supposed to be. Dart Frogs, maybe? Now, I'm wanting to watch a little bit more of the offense to start this one, so we're going to start with a more jumping through action here for the defense. I expect our defense should be able to hold their own here. With a good TFL there, it's 3rd and 9. Give up 14, Tyler Heathwood. Better response there, and once again forcing another 3rd and long. This time defense stands. They will go ahead and punt this one away, and our offense will take the field starting at the 20. Also want to focus a little bit more on the offense in this one to see if we get that rotation with the running backs we're looking for. 1st and 10, first snap offensively at home will be a gain down the middle of 6. Lamar Curtis, of course, coming off his Player of the Week performance. Nearly, in fact, if he did see some success in the receiving game, he might have been around 200 yards from scrimmage. RPO, quick slant hit. That's going to be a nice gain to Coleman. I've been watching Mr. Hurricanes Minnesota Twins series. The guy on the tackle there was Funderburk. Handoff back down the middle to Curtis. This time not as much running room. But sometimes with a running game, it's just about battle of attrition, right? You don't need to pop off the big ones every play, but if you just keep sticking to it, we'll pop off something eventually. We saw that with Curtis last week. Only a gain of 1 here. And now we've got the 3rd and 6. About the 40-yard line. Need the just shy of the 46. Again, wish we had a hard count here, but unfortunately can't do that. Unless they changed what the button was, but I remember checking it, and that wasn't the case, so I'm not sure. That's a great view. It's picked off. It's headed the other way. That's going to be a touchdown for the Dart Frogs. It's Funderburk. Man, not only did we not see the pass, but we don't know if it was just a bad play there from our receiver or bad throw from our quarterback. It's returned for a touchdown the other way. That's just a great play coming from the DB, jumping in front of it. Probably not the optimal throw, but he's going to his number 1 receiver. Expect Coleman to try to make a play on that ball. Not a promising opening then here for us on our first offensive drive at home. We'll see if they can get themselves responded a little bit more here. That's a good start as Rainey does get the carry. 15 yards for the sophomore. Now we have ourselves a 3rd and 8. Now, I don't like that he's in basically back-to-back plays there. That has me a little concerned. We do, however, get the first down to Jace Wilson, number 10. We'll pop back out on the field here. Now, who do we got at running back? I can't tell if that's a 1 or a 3. I have glasses on, but I need a magnifying glass. It is 3. I am concerned about the health of our running back. We're going to check in with Coach on the sideline here. That's not the button I meant to play or press. I want to see injuries. No injuries on there right now. I am now wondering if perhaps the change we made is now keeping Curtis out of the game. We'll see if he checks back in at some point. And as for now, it is 2nd and 6. Will be a throw quickly over the middle. Caught spinning down number 22, or 27 actually. Still learning this roster. But it is a 3rd and 1. I'm going to view from the top here, get ourselves a little bit of a better angle. There's a big gap. Rainey with the spin. He tried to bounce that one all the way outside. Honestly, though, I don't hate the vision. 4 attempts, 31 yards as running back 2 has seemingly taken over. Go back to the sideline view this time. Another run down the middle. Rainey with some space, following the big boys up front. Now would not be a bad time for a little bit of some play action. Got to call these also based off of the runs you're also choosing. If you call a play action off of a counter, right, and you don't run counter, it's not going to do you any good. We're going to go top-up view here. Quick throw over the middle, caught, spinning off the tackle and fighting down to the one. Close to the end zone. We're going to go back to the goal line here and see if the man can finish the job. That is Kuntz. Yeah, neither of these views are too great right here. We're looking for fullback dive action. And he is stopped up, couldn't get by the down man up front. And speaking of down man up front, Summers takes a kneel after the play. We'll lose one of our offensive linemen then here. Looking for a quick pass. Give me some spacing. Looking for a first score at home to overcome that pick six. And under pressure, Conklin is dropped back at the 6-yard line. That clock will run on through then to the break. First quarter done and dusted at home, and it is the River Toads, apparently. Everyone knows that the River Toads are pink. Really missed a mark here. He could have had the dart frogs. Poisonous frog, that's a little bit more intimidating than a river frog or river toad or whatever it is. Might as well just call them the pink tadpoles. We got to find something here. How about some mesh? Got some mesh on here? You got to have some mesh. Third and goal at the 6 to open up the second quarter. Looking to tie this ball game up. They send extra. Someone's got to be open if they sent extra, but the coverage actually looked sticky out there for whatever frog you want to name them. So out comes a field goal unit here, just about left hash. That'll be 3 for Sacramento. Not exactly the start we were looking for, but Stovall at least is 100% on the day. They still don't let those cheerleaders finish their flips before they cut away from them. Just rude. We'll get back to the quick jumping around here again. That is the plan for this one, not to spend too much time against the FCS program. Defense right now playing pretty well. They haven't seen much of that playing time out on the field. Mostly it's been our offense. Curtis back out on the field, though. That's good news. Conklin running around a little bit. The throws away on third down, so the offense struggling here against the Tadpoles. Defense, though, with another third and long, and again, 3 and out. Defense struggled in the opening game. Offense was massive. It's been a role reversal, but there is Jamar Curtis with a nice 21-yard play. Second and 5, thrown away. At midfield, we need 5 more, but it is knocked away. This is where I wouldn't mind being a little bit more aggressive here. Our defense has played well for us. We need to try to do something for them. So we're going to go for it here, 4th down. Offense stays on the field. We need the Oppo 49-yard line. As we look to set up a halfback screen here, we got space outside. First down, don't run backwards. Get that first down not only once, but twice. Curtis takes us down to the Oppo 39-yard line. As we're going to mix into this little RPO. Head down to the field here for this view, too. Hand it off. That's Rainey. See, I want that 1-2 punch. I want to keep these guys fresh out there. What about a little tight end screen? We talked about trying to become a tight end U, right? I'm going to go with top-up view. Best way to do that is to get our tight ends well involved. Let's not play hot potato ball, okay? We're better than that. We're better than hot potato ball. We're not bench warmers. Where are my slants? Give me some slants action in here. And actually, I want a zig down at the bottom, too. Burrell. Keep your eye on that, Collins. Looks like they got either a deep or inside leverage, so zig should be open. Or you go with a slant. I mean, it was kind of extra cover because we brought that guy there, but hey, it works out this time. I won't complain. It worked out this time. Go back to some run games. Now, we've been playing a little bit more spread in this one. Might want to try to bring out some more of the big boys here. But I'll take that running room down the middle for number 20. New running back checks into the ball game. That is Collins. Again, we're trying to make sure these guys stay healthy. I'm fine with that. We've got the depth at running back right now. Let's utilize it. Halfback screen. Decent blocks downfield. Good cut into the end zone. What a move from Collins. Sac State takes the lead here just in front of the 2-minute break. That was a good drive here for the running backs. I don't know what Conklin was doing at quarterback there with a hot throw. It was unnecessary, but hey, I'm not going to complain because it gets the job done. Not sure why we're watching the point after here either. Normally I skip through these, but we'll watch him hit that one through. 10-7. We'll jump back on into that quick sim screen. See how the defense does. Again, a lot of 3-and-outs here in the first half. The pressure's on here for the Toads. Defense off the field in a flurry. And a short field here for the offense. Of course, we're going to hit it again. We've got just over 2 minutes to play. We got 3 timeouts. Short field, and that one's going to be incomplete. I don't know if you guys have had the same problem. When your quarterback gets hit as he's throwing the ball, and then sends it backwards, and they're counting that as a fumble. I don't know if you guys had that, but I've had it happen several times. Bad gap read there from Rainey. That's a timeout here for the River Toads. I'm thinking curls here. Didn't work tremendously for us that first time, but I'm going to try to go back to it. They don't have my favorite one in here. I like the curls with the tight end post. As we hit the field here. Apparently, I'm not going to call an audible or a hot route because it's not letting me. Back to Coleman. That one's too high. It's incomplete. Bad throw that time from Conklin. We'll settle for the punt then. Look to see if we take this one into the second half. 19 yards to Tyler Heathwood. Been about the only one gaining yards for the River Toad offense. 3rd and 10, though. And a sack. Xavier Williams. That full week of practice maybe helping him out, getting that sack. We got 58 seconds to work with here. Our offense has been struggling in this first half. Though 20 yards to Jason Moses. That's got me interested. Again, we don't have much of that deep passing attack with this team. The quarterback's arm isn't strong enough, nor is the accuracy good enough. So we're looking for some medium passes. We got the crosser over the middle. There it is. Big gain down inside the 30. And gonna be stopped up just about there. We'll look for a hurry up here. See if we can maybe find something to the end zone now. We got 30 seconds to work with, but 1 timeout. Don't want to lose any yards either. Quick throw. That'll find the tight end, Williams. Let a little bit of some time come off the clock here. We're actually going to let this one roll on down. 2-1. We'll call a timeout. We'll trot out the field goal unit here. Looking at least for a 6-point lead before halftime. That is an improvement off of where we were in that first game with it tied, but this one's going to be difficult. 38 yards, not a strong leg. But he puts all he has behind it, and he hits it true. What is his name, Scovall? Whatever it is, he's had himself a pretty good start to the season. Definitely not going to find himself with Uwe Zuoke and the Mean Machine. That's a shout out for my Kent State people. But halftime is here. Not been the dominant game we were looking for. Some mistakes and a lackluster offense. But the defense has been playing mighty fine out there. 21-16. Auburn is up on Baylor. Approaching halftime there. $171 for Brown of Auburn. Running game not looking spectacular for Auburn. James Madison loses to Liberty. UAB picks up the win against Illinois. That'll be our first game of the season on Monday. Make sure you guys are here for that. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that bell icon so you're notified when any and everything happen here on the channel. And how about we get into the second half? Offense does start with the ball. We'll see if they make any big plays, and if they do, we will jump in. We are already through the first drive. A one-play, 75-yard touchdown pass to Landry Burrell. Or was that the whole first half? However, we do fail the two-point conversion. I do like the aggressiveness there. But the score remains 19-7. See if the defense gives up anything here for the Toads. And they don't. Another quick 3-and-out. Again, we'll jump in if the offense gets themselves into some fun range. Picking up the first down there, well, I think that's fun enough. Not a high bar here. I want to see this offense play, because that's where some of our better players are. Curtis and Rainey. It is Rainey in the backfield here. He's going to tote the rock, though limited gain. Good job from the linebackers. I might need to adjust that slider again, because it seems like we're not getting a whole lot from Curtis out there. The throw down to the flat. It's the check down, and a little bit too early of a truck attempt, but 236 through the air here, with a good chunk of that coming off the previous touchdown toss to Burrell. 3rd and 7. Would love a hard count in here, but apparently we can't. Quick blitz. It's thrown up top. That's Rainey. He tries to slip the tackle, but cannot quite fight through. It is 4th and 5. I like the range we're at here. We're sitting at the left hash. It's a long one, but I trust our kicker. 45-yarder. And it's good. Another one on the board here from number 48. Apparently that 76, 79 kick power can travel a lot further than expected. I didn't know if he was going to be able to make that one. We're here for it. Stovall. Been a long time since we've had a dominant kicker on this channel. Because once again, it's 3rd and long, and it's thrown away. Nick Shell has not been able to do much here for the Toads. Their one and only big play coming from the defense, a pick 6. Though it is the Toads picking up a 3-and-out on the other side. A little bit of back and forth here midway through the 3rd. There's 3 yards for Jensen. And they get another first down. Tyler Heathwood, his 3rd of the game, and I think that's only 3 first downs for him. Got a good option or opportunity here with a 3rd and 3. But not enough. Johnson Jensen. That's a hell of a name. And they went for it, but he throws it away. It's a turnover on down. Sacramento State picking up around midfield. Landry Burrell gets us to the 4th quarter here. 16 yards, and we are down around the 5-yard line. Well, of course, we're checking in. Now, this worked last time. If we could get this to work about once per game, I'll be happy. However, I am not liking what I'm seeing out there right now in terms of the blocking. And they changed how you could see that blocking. Let's see, what are we looking at here? They're let that edge man on the edge free. Well, we're going to have to run it because we're out of time here. It's a keeper, and yeah, that was the guy I was worried about. Just simply ran out of some time there. Otherwise, I would have checked that play call. Didn't feel like it was necessary calling the timeout to do so. We'll go RPO here, 2nd and goal. It's a handoff down the middle. There's a gap to tote it to the 2. Now I'm feeling like a toss. Do we have a crack toss? I'm good with that. Running it to our side, too. Be a good view here. Oh, but the linebacker cracks the running back instead. Big hit. And we'll send out Stovall. Right hash. And he is 4 for 4 today. Kicker play mighty fine for the Hornets. It's 25-7. Still the game not still not playing up to par, I feel like, with what the expectations were set with that first game. Offense struggling to actually get the ball into the end zone. The defense, I mean, you can't be upset about this whatsoever. They finally pick up a first down, not with the same man in Heathwood. In fact, we see some back-to-back plays going to some tight ends. As we finally see the River Toads working their way down the field. It's 3rd and 4. Thrown away at 4th and 4. I imagine they do go for it here. Indeed, that does seem to be the case. We haven't played with the defense yet in this one. Maybe that's why we've been playing better, but let's head on out with them to try to finish this drive off. 4th and 4. It's going to be trip set down to the bottom, one up top. We only send 4. They've got a clean pocket. Wide open underneath. Someone was not sitting properly in their coverage. Thought that was something they were supposed to fix. We'll stick on out here, though, with the defense. Like to see a little bit more of a rush up front, though. The spread look from the Toads. 4-man rush is picked up clean. It's a check down to the flat, and that'll be a gain of about 6. Go a little bit of some man coverage this time. Go the top-up view. 2 spread wide down to the bottom. 2 tight up top. A little bit of pressure from the DD. He lit up McShell. He might need an ice bath after that hit. The 3rd and 3. A little bit of a tighter look. Bunch down to the bottom. They go with a fake toss. Throws over the middle. That's caught. Going to be a first down to about the 10, 11-yard line. Gonna change up our look a little bit here. Yeah, really not much in terms of some zone blitz. We'll go man blitz instead. Just outside the 10. It's 1st and 10. Throwing, lofted towards the corner. Almost intercepted. Pass does, however, fall incomplete. That leaves 2nd and 10. They can still get a fresh set of downs at about the half-yard line. With 3 down to the bottom, 1 up top. Clean pocket. Flat is open. No, not much yak there. And an injury timeout on the field. Down one of the Sacramento State defensive linemen. Do miss in 26. I did tell you the name. Let's go a little bit more zone blitz action here. Going to put a little bit more stress on those covering up top. But 3rd and 7 here. As that blitz works its way around, quarterback steps up but throws into the turf. We'll have some rotation here, and they're not going anywhere. We'll go from our double-A gap look. Drop back into some coverage, though. Basically sending all the pressure from one side of the line. The other side is dropping back. 4th and 7 from the 8. 2 spread either side. Pass rush again forces that quick step up, and he's going to look to take it to the end zone. Toads get their first touchdown offensively in this one with 3:20 to play. We'll see if they decide to go for 2 or leave it with a PAT. I thought we would have had him there. It does look like they're just going to settle up there with that point after. We'll head on in then to the top view. It is an 11-point ball game. We'll see. We do recover that. Okay, I wasn't quite expecting the onside there because they didn't go for the 2-point conversion. And Bryant Collins seems to be in at running back right now with a good gain there. Looks like we might be able to start to run this one to a close here soon. Handed off to the receiver that time. It's 3rd and 6 as we hit the 2-minute break. 3rd and 6. It is a 6-yard play and a first down. Let's look to start running this one out then. As the Toads are out of timeouts, a first down officially seals this one up. Signed, sealed, and delivered with another win and a 2-0 start on the year. Feeling a counter run this time. Pull the tight end. Just need 2 yards here. That's a massive blow up behind the line. Hold on, we've got to watch a replay of that. Because this defensive tackle, he needs an NIL deal over here. He also looks like he's 255 pounds. Well, look what he does to this side of the line. He just straight up takes that guy out, takes out the pole, takes out the other pole. Meanwhile, the other side of the line, look what these guys did. Absolutely shoved everyone back. Rainey got hit 4 or 5 yards deep. Note to any offensive lineman watching, don't do that. Simple way of putting it. See if we can get ourselves a little end around action here too. Coleman looks like a pretty light outside as we hand it off to him, but he's not going to quite get the corner. Good play there, Williams. So this one not quite signed, sealed, delivered yet. We will, however, bring back out Scovall, who was 4 for 4 on the day. We'll let this clock run on down to. Sit here for a little bit. Considering what the line did to us a couple plays ago, we're going to let those thighs burn a little bit. Build up their strength. We'll snap this one about a second to go on that play clock. Scovall right hash. Just drops that one in. He stays perfect on the day. We got ourselves a pretty good kicker here. And it's 28-14. Not much time left for the River Toads. We're doing a pretty good job of keeping them contained here. Nothing crazy at the end. That is a win for us and a 2-0 start here for Coach Bobby Ellington as Sac State moves up to FBS. They get an FBS win, then they take down an FCS program just to show them again, we are better than you. The Tadpoles just couldn't get their offense going. Got one good drive in offensively, a pick 6 early in the game, but outside that, that was it. They had 2-3 good plays in this one. We need to make sure, though, our offense is ready to play every week and continue tweaking some of our settings there because, again, we did not see much of our star running back in that game, which potentially could have been the reason that we didn't see as much success offensively. Also, I don't think I paused the music that whole time. That's my bad. We would have had double music playing at certain points. Apologies, headphone users. We'll jump on over to the next week, get an update here on our running back, see what he's looking like. He might need a lighter week, especially if he wasn't good enough to play for most of that game. But we level up again, which is good news for us. We are currently sitting at another MAC Defensive Player of the Week, this time Bugsy Silvera. That's a hell of a name. Bugsy. One of our free safeties. He had 4 tackles, 4 pass breakups. He came to play. We are at 50 coach points. If we were wanting to take a look at an update here for our coach, again, we're primarily focused on that defense here. Increased starting interest. Really not going to help us out now, but it would be good to get that before we get to the off season. That potentially, actually no, that's transfers more interest. So we're going to hold points for a little bit more, make sure we get that. And then we'll probably do the same thing with the offensive line next. We want to make sure we got as much interest from transfers as possible because that is the goal here for the former transfer himself. But back-to-back players of the week, a 2-0 start, obviously not nationally, but MAC-wise. That's a good way to get this season underway. We are just sitting at about 2 hours here. Let me know right now in the chat, what do you want? You want one more game? That'll be against Fresno State, another Cali team. I don't believe that's too far away either. Let me know what you want to see. We could go one more. In the meantime, let's check in on our players. So no one's getting an off week yet. No one's not getting a practice. For Coleman, he still needs that limited. We got another low guy here, Will Weber. You could practice in full. Now, Adams here, he's actually got a problem. So just to test this out, we're going to go with no practice for him. Interesting. So it shows you that if you go no practice, Okay, this was really weird. I need you guys to zoom in with your faces here. Because if you pay attention to the bottom right, if we switch this to no practice, his arm injury disappears, but his season health decreases. I'm not sure what that's about. Now, Zay Adams, I believe, is one of our starters out there, so I am feeling like I might be more inclined to have him do limited practice and keep that season health. Hey, appreciate that pay, or, well, wait a second. EA pay, don't play. We might need to fix that up a little bit here. It's play, don't pay. Or don't pay, don't play. If you want to take it the next step, right? Yeah, I'm inclined to go limited practice here because I don't want him to take a hit to his seasonal health like that. Now, I would love to know what the fatigue number is at here for Matthew Coleman. But we're going to lock this in. He said, no, it's that EA pay, don't play. That's not one I've heard. Go to the coach tree? Yeah, we can go over to the coach tree real quick. Right now, we've just been focused in on the recruiting side of things. Oh, so you could show me. Okay. Where am I looking for? I'm not seeing a hashtag over here. Want me to jump in? I could jump in here too. Press purchase levels. I think if you're trying to get to the screen to where you could purchase points, I'm in offline, so I can't get to that. But I see what you're trying to get. Yeah. The microtransactions are in Dynasty currently only in the online. But it would be funny if EA put in a hashtag to pay them. That would be hilarious. Pretty much you can now buy... Yeah, you can buy levels now. Definitely not doing it, for sure. I am not giving EA any more money than the $90 I already paid them just to play the game. EA's doing it just because they're trying to get away. Well, EA was bought by a private company, I think it was, last year. So basically, they're just trying to squeeze out every ounce of money they can to get their money back. It's like I bought the game, so I'm still going to pay. Yeah, I mean, there's two different thoughts to it. If you want to pay extra, if you got the extra income, I guess you can do what you want. But if we pay them any more money than what we already do, they're just going to make it worse in the future. Because they've already talked about this is just the first step that they were wanting to go down. We'll check in again on recruiting here. We'll jump into one last game. But it is definitely unfortunate for the devs because they definitely took a good bit of heat. We are up to first with Sessions. Still not getting much of a jump here on some of these other guys, but it doesn't seem like anyone else is moving up on them either. And the good news is we aren't moving down, so we're kind of in a stalemate right now. The guys that we moved up to first with, we are continuing to move up, which is good. Yeah, I agree. All they need to do is add in the sliders back. They could even keep the microtransactions in. Honestly, they could. But give us the sliders back. And then if someone wants to pay them, then you can go ahead and pay, right? because that still gives you the option to have the faster XP, but it won't be as fast as instantly buying it all, right? So I think that would be the best balance for both sides. You could have the micros in there, but just don't take away anything from the game, especially something that was already there. Yeah, Bordeaux did start the CFB play, don't pay. And Bordeaux, speaking of Bordeaux, also had posted something about the same thing about kids. You know, you have an 8-year-old who steps into play for the first time and he basically can't get anywhere. His player is made to be bad. He can't get any better. He's going to not like football, right? Especially football games, and that might mean he might not end up liking the sport as well. It's just all around a bad thing. Yeah, for those who did get early access, who bought the ability to get things beforehand, there were built-in points that you could use to buy coaching points or your Road to Glory players. If you already have that, might as well go ahead and use it, but wouldn't pay him anymore. Because again, you already spent around $90 on the game, so. Yeah, pretty chill around here. Of course, this is we got two different style videos right now. We get the streams where things are a little bit more chill. Then we got the edited Dynasty, which we started yesterday. And that one is with UAB. And that one is a little bit more like what you're watching on a Saturday, right? A little bit more realistic, if you will. But we're going to jump into one more game here. There wasn't much to do practice-wise or recruiting-wise. So let's jump on into the Fresno State game, and we will round things out today with about a 2.5 to 40 or so minute stream. As just a way to get us started in this series. Fresno State, what are we looking like here? I don't like that you can't rotate the player. I'd like to get a better view of these helmets. They have blue. Native heritage. That's fun. Again, can't really see it. Yeah, I also decided I wasn't buying Madden. I'm just sticking with college football this year. Navy USA. Well, that's what I was thinking. A little bit of some red, white, and blue action here. Let's go. We'll get with that. And wish we could change what the fans look like, even at away games. Let's get this face on out of here. We got a game to play. Sac State with a 2-0 start to the season. Can we make it 3-0? Looks like we got a little bit of a fog rolling in, perhaps. Love to see some of these small schools a little bit more of a fancier intro as well. Yeah, I was hoping that the team or the upgrade stadiums would also be for all teams. It makes sense that it's just for Team Builder. It's a good way to test it. Of course, Team Builder also stuck behind a paywall of paying for online modes, right? Game Pass or Xbox Live, whatever it is called now. And I had built a beautiful Team Builder as well. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to use it. I don't do anything live or anything online, so it doesn't make sense for me to pay for that. But who knows? Maybe down the line. Especially if 27 is good to us here. We bring in some more people. Maybe we'll do a members, perhaps. Siri, who knows? We'll see. Anything's possible down the line. Let's get this thing underway as Sac State kicks us off. Oh, Battle of California. So you made a team builder team? I might take a little peek. Of course, we won't be able to use them or anything. But we're going to start off out on the field in this one. We'll call some plays and kind of go with the flow. Defense played very well last week. We'll see if they can keep things up here against Fresno State. The throw down to the flat, coming down. Good open field tackle. Now, one thing that they were supposed to fix was your play underneath. We've still seen a lot of coverage drifting downfield rather than staying a little bit tighter. So we might need to make some coaching adjustments for that. Delayed handoff here is a Fresno State first down. Rayshawn Luke. Going to stick with our cover 2 shell. You just remixed a IRL team. Quick throw to the flat. Good open field tackle. Good flow from 32 there as well. Now, we were worried initially, taking a look at this roster and seeing the rather lack of speed. But I don't feel like it's really been a problem. Of course, playing in conference like the MAC, speed isn't really a big thing with a lot of the schools. Check down to the turf. We got ourselves a 3rd and 8. We're going to show like we're bringing a blitz, but we're going to back up into coverage. Oh, you can't update other people's stadium. That's interesting. 3rd and 8. Quarterback stepping up. He takes the hit, and once again, that check down is a little bit too low. Defense with a stand. It's interesting that if you download someone else's team, you can't update. Well, I guess that makes sense because you have to go into Team Builder to update it, don't you? But, yeah. I guess that would also mess up things if they update the stadium, right? You would have to upload basically multiple different varieties. Small stadium, middle stadium, big stadium. It broke on you 30 times? Yeah, the last time I was even in Team Builder, it crashed on me nonstop. That's always been a thing, I feel like, though. We take over offensively here, and it is Curtis going to be wrapped up in the backfield. He got a little bit of a lighter practice in this week, try to get him healthy for this game. Fortunately, his line doesn't pick up blocks, so 2nd and 11. Quick throw, wide open to the top side of the field. We quickly switch that camera angle to try to get a better view of that. Something got to be a little bit more cognitive of. We got the big boys out there, though. Nice I formation here. And a delayed handoff. This time, some running room for Curtis, but that might have been due to a flag down on the field. In fact, that might have been Rainey checking into the game. In 2060, you'll have to pay to play. I mean, the way a lot of games are going anyway, probably. I saw someone making a joke, but honestly probably wasn't much of a joke, as that call is bringing us back here that soon you'll have to pay for new playbooks, right? They'll hide all the good ones behind a paywall. As we got some time here, throws over the middle but broken up. I don't like that that graphic pops up. Prefer they keep it clean out there. We got ourselves a 2nd and 11. We're going to pop up. Get ourselves a better view here of this halfback screen to Rainey. You know, those aren't really developing as well as they did in 26. So we'll see if the screen game is still as effective on those 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs. And speaking of 3rd and long, we've got ourselves a 3rd and 9 here. As they bring a blitz heavy off the one side, it's passed out. Copper the tight end, slipping the tackle, hurdles, but he steps out of bounds short of the first down. And an injury to one of Fresno State's big man down the middle. And I agree with Coach here. We're looking for a heavy set. We got a strong, actually give me a weak guy with a run to the weak side, halfback gut. Give us our best view here. And we can't view that there. Okay. 4th and inches, first down. We get it, Collins. We got 3 different running backs checking into these games here. So we didn't mess with the slider there. I wanted to see if a week of practice might help us out a little bit. Doesn't quite seem to be the case, so we're going to change that again at the end if you guys help me remember to do so. Quick shed over the middle. Pass, though, is caught over the middle. Landry Burrell. I think I said tight end earlier. I feel like that's actually one of our receivers, not tight end. I know Williams is one of our tight ends. Kuntz as well. And that one's going to get picked off. Airmailed a number of open receivers underneath. I don't know why. Our quarterback likes to throw that ball downfield. He's not a deep ball passer by any means. We were needing to change the we're going to jump into the quicker sim on this point. We need to change the auto sub slider for the running backs. Because right now Curtis is not seeing the field much, and that is affecting our offense. Was it Ball State and Sac State their rivals? I guess Ball State, one of the worst teams in FBS, might as well have a rivalry with someone from a better FCS standpoint. Defense, though, picks us up a nice 3 and out. We'll see if the offense gets moving here, and if so, we'll jump in. Right now it's 3rd and 10, and a penalty is not going to help us out. They declined that 4th and 10 anyway. A little bit of back and forth here defensively in the latter part of the first quarter. Fresno State with a good running game. They've got that ball now down to the 30. Let's hop on out here, see if we can help out this defense a little bit. Oh, it's just a joke. I mean, hey, if they're some of the worst teams out there, might as well make them a rivalry. Little RPO, throws up top. Looking for somewhere to go. He's got about a gain of 6. Drop down to our double mug here. I get the joke now. I was being too mature. Big lane down the middle. That's a rushing touchdown for Fresno State. Absolutely shredded the inside of the defense as Donaldson puts them on the board here just before we run out of time in the first quarter. That has been a continual problem here for us. Luckily, the boys and Dart Frogs were the only ones who weren't able to take advantage of that. We definitely got to work on this defense. It's also one of the older sides of the team as well. We do this series in coach mode. We do one series normal. I'm playing every single down, every single game. Our offense is struggling against them dogs out there. Really bad punt as well. It's a short field, unnecessary roughness. But somehow they're already down to the goal line. Must have been a good return on that punt. And they are set up 3rd and goal. Touchdown, Bryson Donaldson. That is 2 for him early on here. We're going to have to jump out with this offense and try to get them going again. And we started off strong with a run game from Curtis. Curtis has been a little bit hit or miss on his availability, so that's definitely helped the opposing teams more so than us. He takes the carry that time. Bottom side, picking up about a gain of 6. Considering he has 5 yards, that's how the running game has gone for him. As he stays on out there, we go back to him. He gets a nice cutback lane down to the bottom. First down to the 45. That'll help us out a little bit. Let's go play action after 2 good runs. See if our quarterback can hit anything downfield or under pressure. That ball didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Try to switch cameras there to see if we could open things up a little bit, get a better view. Fortunately, it was a worse view of a bad end of the play. We'll go back down to the sideline here. I don't watch as much of Bordeaux. Pretty much the only time I spend watching Mr. Hurricane. As we got to find ourselves a first down here. Feeling the curls. Now it will let me finally make that hot route here. I like the curls with the post. As we throw incomplete to Coleman. And an injury up front here for us. Offense is struggling against the Dogs. And we just gave up yet another touchdown, so we trail early here by 3 scores. We're only halfway through the second quarter. He might still get back. I mean, I didn't watch his last couple. I'm talking about Bordeaux. He might get back to the Hawaii series at some point. 12-yard gain there. Got to get this offense moving. We need a touchdown this drive. We got a 3rd and 9. Knocked away. Hard to go for it there on 4th down. Oh, he dropped an F-bomb in a video? Oh, yeah. Well, you know, you can still get monetized a little bit even if you're dropping a bomb every now and then. We're going to get the ball back here. 3:03 to go. And of course, we got to jump in when we see 3:03. 1st and 10 around midfield. They get pressure off the edge, and this is what I'm talking about. They're counting these as fumbles, and that's going to be a score. That camera is shaking. Fresno State is so loud. The crowd here is amped. They've never seen their dogs have a start like this. With the point after, it's going to be 28-0. Sac State getting absolutely sacked on that play. And you know, you could have missed reactions on that one. Quarterback got hit. Arm might have been moving forward. Unfortunately, here in 27, that's just a fumble. Real life, though, the arm's moving forward. It's an incomplete pass. So maybe something EA will fix at some point. Often happens, yeah, game will rebalance itself. We're talking about how when you finally get into play, conference play, then things automatically get tough for some reason. I mean, that's also something I've talked about in the past. Rivalry games, just in general, are meant to be tougher. But EA for a long time has always done that course correction. When you're just playing really well, you'll go jump in a game, and next thing you know, you just can't do anything. Meanwhile, your opposition is doing everything. Good run here for us, but we're going to need a little bit more than that. We're trailing 28-0. Go back to another run here. 2 back-to-back, and, you know, get the 1st down next time. You don't need any sort of fancy cuts there. This time, get a good pull in front of us. Going to pick up that 1st down with 3rd and inches converted to the 37. Now we're going to look for a little something downfield, perhaps, or let's go slip screen, actually. Change things up a little bit. You paid a lot of NIL for a 3-star. You can find some pretty cheap guys, even up at 3 stars. Going to have to be pretty cheap for us because we've basically got a 0 budget. I do watch real football, real college football. Unfortunately, my favorite team is Stanford, so it hasn't been a fun last handful of years by any means. But, hey, luck might have us on the right track. 2nd and 9 here. A little bit of some play action. Going to step up into the rush, and he's coughed it up again. Good news, lineman there to jump on top of it. Dogs calling a timeout here. They want more in the first half of things. Already up 28-0. See if we could wheel Coleman into some success here. Looks like it's man coverage. They had him initially. Instead, stepping up here, Conklin. He throws over the middle. 1st down. I believe that might have been Williams, the tight end. We got a few timeouts to work with here, so we're going to hustle back up to the line. Got to get something here in the first half. That's a good open field wrap up. Loss of 2. We'll try to slide in a little run play here. No, they're ready for it. Fresno State is flying around out here, making big play after big play. Give me a double post. Third and 15 is play action. Pressure's building, and 2 are going to get back there. The left side of the line did absolutely nothing. And it is Florida, or not Florida State. It feels like we're playing against Florida State right now. Fresno State absolutely dominating this first half. How about going into the 3 stars, sorting by position, and then sorting even further by NIL? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an option, especially late on in the year. I'm hoping that they are going to fix the problem. As we get a sack, Xavier Williams, they're going to fix the problem of the bigger schools not offering NIL or just offering in general to players. But we do have house rules installed. Try to make things a little bit harder for us as we start the second half with a nice run by Curtis, followed by just a 1-yard run. 16 yards to Coleman. And we are down to the 10. We're going to hop in here, trying to finish this drive strong. Keeping with the inside runs. Yeah, I'm going to find out kind of as we go along what positions I prefer to pay, which ones I don't. I'm sure you could always find some guys who aren't asking for too much. Though that being said, don't disrespect the big boys and give them their money. As we're finally trying to get into the end zone here, it is 2nd and goal at the 2. Rainey taken down about a yard short. Let's try this again. I also feel like neither one of these is a great view. Conklin with the keeper, and he's taken down. It looked like he had the space. I feel like if we're going to get back into this one, it's got to be with a touchdown. I don't think field goal is going to give us what we need. So from the top end view we go. Conklin, 4th and goal. He rolls down the bottom, throws backside, and it's just at the ankles of Coleman. It's incomplete. Turnover on downs. Taking over at the 1 are the Bulldogs. As it's a big gap for him off that left-hand side in between the guard and the tackle. Now they can try to open up their playbook a little bit here. Yeah, every now and then, if there's a good 1-star that will be targeted by the big schools. Throws over the middle, is caught. That's a quick read off the, I don't know if that was read option or RPO, or if that was just play action. Either way, they hit it quick. That's a good job from the linebacker from way up here. If you told me that was Eric Kendricks, I might have agreed with you. The trip set here for the Bulldogs up top, 1 down to the bottom. They do drop back to pass. Line picks up the blocking beautifully. However, that's not going to be much of any gain there. Quick tackle. We got ourselves with a 3rd and 6. Expect the Bulldogs look to go to the air here. I wouldn't be surprised if they go with a draw. Little pump fake, stepping up, some room to run, and an open man downfield, or so he thought, but he airmails him, and the defense picks up the stand. Hey, appreciate you checking in here today, bud. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And hopefully we'll find a score here sooner rather than later. You know why we're not scoring? Again, I forgot to turn off that background music. Let's see if that helps out. That's where I need to find some way of getting that thing to auto shut off, because I always forget. But a 1st and 10 here. It's Rainey, and he's just stretching that one wide instead of finding a gap and hitting it. We lose 2. It's 2nd and 12 here. Not a great game for Conklin, though he does find Coleman. We're going to need to pick up the tempo as well. Give me some options underneath with a little bit of some medium, some deep. Give me all of it. We need at least 4 here. Quick throw is the drag. 1st down and a big hit. Getting absolutely flattened there was Burrell. Good news, he pops back up. Little draw action here. Rainey trying to pick up some. It's 3 for him. Let ourselves gather, make some rotations, head back on out. Old mesh concept. Downfield, we got the running back. That is Collins out of the backfield, taking us down to around the 32-yard line. See if we just stay up in this top-end view here for a little bit. Free rusher off the edge, another quick check down to the running back. Good juke and open field. Not able to break that tackle, but I will take at least a gain. All at 2 as we are inside 40 seconds to play in the third quarter. Still have yet to get a point on the board. Throws underneath back to Burrell. We got a chance at some points last time. We decided to go with a offensive play on 4th and goal. We didn't get the job done. Halfback screen, and we've got the corner there. Burrell. Oh, that's a big hit, taking him down. Luckily, he's not the injured man on the play. Gotta say, though, here in 27, we are seeing some big-time hits by these defensive players. Looking a little bit more like true physics has been involved in this one. We got a fourth running back actually to hit the field. As he totes that rock down close to the end zone. We're going to try to get one more play in here before the quarter break. We hustle back up to the line, snap it with 2. Play action, quick throw, and that's going to be a touchdown. Spinning blind throws, good enough for Collins as he finds Williams for the score, and it seems like indeed we just had to turn off that background music. Sac State on the board. Jordan Williams with a score, getting it in here before the fourth quarter begins. Instead, we hit it as the third quarter comes to a close. We'll see if we get any more opportunities here in this one. 28-7, we begin the fourth quarter. We need a quick stop here from our defense. 3rd and 5, and that's going to be a stop indeed from the defense. A quick 3 and out. We got the Hornets not giving up here today. Continuing to fight through. We'll jump down to the sideline view as well. Conklin looking to step up. He throws out late. That one's going to be caught out of the backfield. Looked like Rainey. Going to be a lot of hurry up from here on out if there's going to be any chance of us overcoming this deficit. Handoff down the middle, shaking and baking. That's Ricky Bobby to the 40. Actually, make that 35-yard line. Got to keep them honest. BT just back in time. Quick rush off the edge, but passes out. We got the man heading down the opposite sideline. That's a gain of 9. Where's this been all game long? Offense moving here in the fourth. There's a new man checking into the backfield yet again, number 14. So we definitely do need to make an edit to that auto subs because right now none of our backs are able to stay in these games. We'll flip things here. I don't know if he just didn't have a route, but we're going to make sure he does. Coleman might be the guy here. No, they drop back beautifully into coverage. And under pressure, it's almost caught by the lineman. It would be illegal, I believe, but still would have been fun. Got to at least be tipped. 2nd and 10. We go with a draw. And a little bit of some space down the middle. I believe Collins in the game here. Was the running back who originally was supposed to start the year as the number 2. We put in the sophomore there. Actually, no, it's 25. I got no idea who this guy is. We got 5 different running backs playing in the backfield today. We're utilizing all the depth we've got. As we've got a 1st and goal as well. Trying to make something happen here in the fourth. Collins check down. And that's Williams taking it down to about the 4, maybe the 3. See if we get a better view from this angle here. As we are draining our stamina for sure. It's a handoff that is going to be stopped down the middle. Again, about a gain of 1. Continue with a little bit of some RPO. We're going to jump to the top here. Looking for a big fourth quarter. It's a handoff, and he tries to go airborne. He gets flattened. And it might have been the man celebrating there who maybe took a brunt of that hit. But that does stop the clock for us. I don't want option. I want quick pass. Give me some stick concepts here. Or no, spacing concepts. A little pre-snap motion. Try to draw someone to the other side. Leak something open perhaps. Neither of these views are great. 4th and goal. Motion down to the bottom, I believe, is Burrell. Throwing down his way. No, it's not Burrell. It's 27. I still don't know your name, but you got the score. That is too late here, and hopefully it's not too late. Jason Moses with the touchdown grab. A risky throw from Conklin right in front of the face of 95. Good thing he is not a normal cover man. We still need 2 more scores here, but we get one in with about 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Defense last time gave us a pretty quick 3 and out. We'll see if they could do it again. As we kick that one off, touchback here for the Bulldogs. They start at the 25. Knocked away by Boogsy Silvera. He was our defensive player of the week last week. Donaldson loses 2. 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 12, and it's still knocked away. Silvera back again. In less than a minute, we get that ball back. Is the comeback real? Leave these boys some love for all their fight here today. As we get another drive underway. Quick pressure, but we get that leak underneath. That's going to be a first down here for Sac State. Putting a lot of pressure here on Conklin. First and 10. Blitz is picked up pretty well. Throwing downfield, he put every ounce of that 82 arm strength into that one. We hustle back to the line here. Get a call in from the sideline. Just looking for something simple here. A little saving play for the receivers. Give them a chance to kind of catch their breath, basically. We'll look for some corners. You got Williams. No, instead of going downfield, it's going to be picked off. And this one might be the nail in the coffin. Conklin just trying to do too much out there. He had multiple guys open underneath. And his 2 big picks this game have both come on taking the deep shot. When the underneath, what he's better at, he just ignores. That's a massive pick 6 here for Stewart and Fresno State. Their crowd was worried, but they are back alive here. Again, just doing way too much there. Bad attempt at even getting to the ball there from Burrell. That could be us about buried in this one. That's why we play these games, right? All the swings. We thought we might have had a chance there for a little bit, but we trail once again by 3 scores. About 3 minutes to play. And it's back-to-back throwaways. Make that 3 straight throwaways, and then we punt the ball away. So this one not seeming good here for us as we move inside 2 minutes. They should just be looking to kneel this one away. Or add insult to injury? No. This game comes to a close. Our first loss of the season, and Conklin, while he made some big plays out there, ultimately he made a lot of bad plays. And we just don't quite get the job done. We did see a lot of rotation of that running back room. We'll look to make that change here before we go ahead and call it done and dusted today with about a 2-hour and 45-minute live stream of the brand new Coach Mode Sacramento State Dynasty. We'll go ahead and bring my face back on in this thing. Get the music back pumping as indeed we look to close this thing out here for today. We'll jump over to the next week. We'll make that change as well to the auto sub slider. But all in all, I think, there's a good start. There's a lot of progress that we can be made. Obviously, we saw in that game, we can't leave things up entirely to our quarterback. He's just not that guy. We got NDSU next, and that is, in fact, one of the things we have to do here. Beat North Dakota State. Our AD demands that. That is a big sway in what we're able to do. And if we get that completed, it looks like we get 200 added to our budget. So that's going to be really big for us. Before we leave, like I said, we're going to get that auto sub changed because we did not see our guy back there. So I'm wondering if that's more due to the wear and tear. Again, I wish we got the numbers here. Maybe we just need to lower this down a little bit. We could try that, see if that works. We lowered the sub back in just a little. In fact, we could also take that down perhaps a little bit more. See if that works out next time. Make sure you are here for next time if you haven't already. Go ahead and hit that bear icon in the bottom right corner of your screen so that way you subscribe. And you could also tag team it with that bell icon down below. That way you get notified as well of when anything happens here on the channel, whether we go live, a video is posted, a poll or comment or anything's posted on that community tab. It's just a good way to make sure you stick around and see everything happening. And if you had a great time today, make sure you let YouTube know by hitting that thumbs up as well. We will be back. We're going to go tomorrow. And we're going to be starting a road to glory. Now, it might be a little bit later in the day tomorrow. I believe I am off work around 12 Pacific, so we'll probably be starting maybe around 3 or so Pacific time. So East Coast, 6 o'clock. In the middle of the country, we're looking around 5 o'clock, right? So do your math wherever you are, but that is when I'm aiming to be back tomorrow as we start yet another series here in College Football 27. We'll take one last look at an update here for our recruiting as, yeah, we're just not making much headroom with these guys listed at 10. So we are probably going to have to start making some tough decisions, taking guys off this board, moving some points around, and hopefully we'll find ourselves actually making some really good headway in recruiting next time, especially as we're going to have a little bit more time with these games, get through a little bit more of the weeks. We start off with a huge game against North Dakota State. An AD expectation is a win. It's also the two teams that move on up here from FCS, so it should be a good one. I don't know what's up with Coach's eyes in that one. Maybe he's rolling his eyes based off how the offense played in that last game, but that's going to be us here for today until tomorrow where we return live. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and make sure you're also ready for Monday, where we get into the first game of our edited Dynasty series with UAB. A lot coming. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. I know I am, and hopefully we hear some good news from EA sooner rather than later. So as I leave you guys off, let's finish this thing off with a CFB play, don't pay.